What's happening, everyone? Apologies for the wait there. Obviously, Twitter Space doing that. So, hope we're all doing well and we're ready for Friday night footy. Brisbane and Melbourne should be a cracking game. At the moment, I've changed my tip to Brisbane. I just think Brisbane could bounce back, and with Stephen May being out and Cozzy Picker, I just think maybe Brisbane could score well. And Darcy Fort's also in, so they're going to have a taller forward line, so they could make use of that there. So hopefully it pays off for me and I get it correct, because knowing when I change tips before the game starts, it ends up costing me. So hopefully it doesn't. So yeah, as I said, hope we're all doing well and we're all set for hopefully all your fantasy teams are set as well for the upcoming round. My trades at the moment, I've locked them in. Maybe the edit trade button could work if I end up deciding to change it. But at the moment, I'm going Josh Kelly to Tom Green, and I'm going Fergus Green to Kay Chandler. So, yeah, that's what I'm doing there. So, and then I'm locking in Laird as captain. I had Doherty VC. Didn't get, obviously, a good score, which was unfortunate, but that's okay. We move, and hopefully Laird can put up a big one. My boy, hopefully he goes big and, goes well. So, as we wait for a few more people to tune in as well, I'm just going to share this across the socials and get some... hopefully some more people tuning in, and send your questions through as well. If you've got questions for trades and captain's choices and everything, any of the questions that me and Tim guessed on our Twitter space we didn't get to, I'll get to them during the watch along, and I'll answer all questions, because I want to try and answer as many questions as possible, give back to everyone, and hopefully help everyone. So yeah, hang on. All right. All right. There we go. Tweeted. Perfect. All right. So got a few people in the chat here. So we got AFL Fantasy Master Matthews. So subscribe to Truly Bailshd. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Hopefully, yeah, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do. We're on 775, 225 away from 1,000, and that's obviously the goal we want to reach. So if you can help me do that, that'd be very much appreciated. And yeah, make sure you go subscribe to AFL Fantasy Master Matthews as well. So for some more fantasy content. Moonboy Bales is on Twitter Space and forgot. Mate, I didn't forget. I was just a little bit late than usual, just answering a heap of questions. We had a heap of people tuning in, by the way, nearly 200 again. We had over 200 again tuning in. So it's good that a lot of people are getting involved in Twitter Spaces pre-game. So Matt has asked, Pedler, Philippou or Chandler? I'd be going Chandler out of the three. If you can loop Chandler and then put Pedler on after and get the best score, that'd be what I'd do. But I'd back Chandler in with the highest score. Actually, did I put my emergency on Chandler? I assume I did. Yes. Okay, good. And it's locked out anyway. So, so we got, who have I got? I've got Ashcroft and Dunkley tonight. So good thing is everything's locked in for trades-wise. I don't think I've got Chandler in RDT or Supercoach just because I wanted to see if he holds his spot. But away we go. Brisbane and Melbourne. Let's have a look. So what I'll do, I'll get the scores up on Dream Stats, and we'll see the scores go up live. Dream Stats live. There it is. And then we can see the scores tick over as the game goes. So first inset mark goes to Jack Payne there. So, I hope, again, it'd be interesting to see who wins this game. It's a very big game in terms of the season, because if Melbourne start 2-0 and Brisbane go 0-2, that's going to, I don't know exactly what it is, but there aren't that many teams that start 0-2 or 0-3 that end up making finals. So, yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how it all goes. But yeah, we've got it up now. So, scores. Let me try and get this up here. So share screen, and let's get the scores up. So share screen, and then beautiful. There it is. Perfect. So we got it up. What I might do, if I could, can I zoom in? If that zooms in, I hope that you guys can see it zoomed in, because then it gets rid of all the ads and all the stuff outside. So does that zoom in? Perfect. Does zoom in. Perfect. So we got good view of all the scores as they go through. So Zach Bailey, the first goal. Yep, Zach Bailey, first goal for Brisbane. So Brisbane off to a good start with the first goal there. So what do we got here? Sorry, Daniel. You have 1 minute. Damn it. I apologise for missing it. But you said, I'm really stuck with trades. I have Laird thinking of getting a rookie off ground to get Cogs and Callahan or even like Libba and Zeeble. Thoughts? I'm still not a huge fan of trading Laird unless you have the Cherry issue. If you've got the Cherry issue, then I can tick it off. I still don't like trading Laird because he can go big. But, yeah, I would have held Laird. I hope you did. And Libba I'm not huge on. I think he could potentially cop attention on against St Kilda. But, yeah, I'm not sold on Libba. And Z was good, but, yeah, I wouldn't have traded Laird personally. The other one is Laird and Bailey Lowry. I wouldn't have got Lowry either. I don't know if he was a late in for this game, but Bailey Lowry could be dropped at any point. So, hang on. You're saying you would have traded Laird and Bailey Lowry. I could definitely... Brisbane hit the post. Zorko hitting the post there. I could see the appeal, but I just wouldn't have done it personally. But it'd be interesting to see. Let me know what you did, Daniel, in the end. So, it'd be interesting to see what you did with your trades. Yeah, all right. So, we'll... just see if there's anything here. Just going to tweet out as well, seeing if any of the legends want to jump on any of the watch along with me and tune in and everything like that. Be very interesting to see as well tonight so they've just missed the target there as well. Who's 26 for Brisbane? Connor McKenna. Just look different with the beard going on there, the facial hair. And that's open, and that's Tom McDonald. So Tom McDonald lining up for goal to put Melbourne level again. Beautiful. We've got a few questions going through here. It's really good. I'm actually glad. I didn't know that last week. So you can zoom into the page and I can actually see them really well now without having to jump on over to the other screen. So Tom McDonald puts it through. Scores level after 3 minutes. So, just do this. Right. All right. I'll be with you in a sec, guys. Just tweeting out if anyone wants to jump on. It's always good to get someone on and chat with us. It creates better conversation, then you can answer a question, then you get 2 points of view as well. So I'm just commenting, seeing if anyone wants to jump on. But we'll see. So early scores as well. So you got McKenna and Dunkley on 3 points each. Starcevich is leading for Brisbane with 12 points. Zach Bay 11. Zorko with 10 points. So Dunkley with a clearance there with a handball. Then you've got Tom McDonald 14, Lockie Hunter 12. Then you've got Neil Bullen Rivers 6. So Gorn 3, McVee 3, and Chandler's got 2. So nothing huge of note so far. Obviously, we're only 4 minutes in. Brisbane kicked the second goal of the game. So I missed who kicked that then. Who kicked the goal? Matt was down reading the scores. Damn, I missed that. People waving flags at the moment. I want to see you kick the goal. So who kicked it? I'm surprised I haven't shown exactly who's kicked it. Perfect. There we go. I've tweeted out, shared it across everyone, so hopefully someone can jump on. I still don't know who kicked the goal. Hopefully the score's update, and then I'll be able to see who scored. But Brisbane started well. I think they've had the more inside 50s. And that's why I end up just going Brisbane just because of May being out. And Gawn. Wow, that's big. Gawn's going down the race. Wow. Okay. that'd be very interesting to see if that's anything serious. If anyone's listening to commentary on the game, let me know, because that could be big. So that means Grundy will be the ruck. Imagine if something happened to Gaunt. Like, that would be like terrible for Melbourne, but as fantasy coaches, we'd sort of be looking at Grundy now. That'd be interesting. But yeah, hopefully Gaunt's not injured. I don't want to see Gaunt injured. We've got plenty of rucks as options in fantasy. So let's get to a few of these comments as well here. Then I'll go through some of those questions on Twitter. So Jared has said jelly to Setterfield and cherry to Darcy. Yeah, I like that. Tick them off. Like those. Obviously, if you can get jelly to Tom Green and cherry to Darcy, that's obviously the probably the perfect trades to fix that up. But if that's all you can get to, sorry, not all you can get to, because I do like cherry in Setterfield. So Darcy in Setterfield. So yeah, I'd be ticking those off, Jared. Like those trades there. So Jared Berry was the guy that kicked that goal. Yeah, I saw him kick it, but I didn't realize it went all the way. Nathan says, thanks for hosting, Bales. Interested to see how Chan and Wilmot go tonight. Yeah, it'd be very interesting to see how he goes. Yeah, it will be. Yeah, I think Chandler will do well. He's obviously got the early handball, so he's got a couple of points on the board. But interesting to see if he can score. I think he'd be happy with a 60, 55, 65, somewhere in that vicinity. You'd be pretty happy with from him. And then Wilmot, I was just nervous with the tough matchup against Melbourne being such a tough team, especially for wingers to score on. I don't think many people really know that, but Langdon was tough to score on last year. And then also Lockie Hunter's also he can be difficult on his day, because they're both fantastic wingers. I think Melbourne have got the best wing combination off the top of my head in the competition. So that's why I end up going for that. So what did Gawn do? So Viney's tripped on his leg. I don't know, could that be an ankle or a knee or something? Nathan, Gawn hands on head, frustrated, no confirmation of injury yet. So it'll be interesting to see what that injury is, if that's anything serious, because I know a couple of people did go Gawn as an option class. This would be brutal as well if Gawn's another one to go down and another bullet already for a few coaches. I know he wasn't hugely popular, but there's still going to be coaches out there like Cherry last week that had him. So I hope that he's not injured. Daniel said, yeah, went Laird and Lowry for Cogs and Callahan at the moment, but can edit trades from what I heard with the new feature. Yeah, you can. You can edit trades. I'm still not a big fan of Laird, so going Laird out if you can do other switches. And I don't know if you have the Cherry issue because it doesn't look like it, so I wouldn't do it personally. But if you've got a gut feel and you want to jump off Laird and you feel good about it, then don't let me stop you from it. I just wouldn't trade Laird personally. So, yeah, Berry kicked the goal. Yeah, there you go. So, Jared said, best I can do. Thanks, mate. Yeah, no, if that's the best you can do, I still like the trades. Clayton Oliver, you got it or you missed it? Missed it. So Melbourne 1-1-7 to Brisbane 2 straight. So it's been a competitive game at the start. I think Brisbane have just had the upper hand, which obviously makes sense because they're just in front. So it should be a good game. Looking forward to this. As I said, Brisbane starting 0-2, that would be terrible for them. And then if the other way, if Melbourne were to start 2-0, that'd be fantastic for them. Trent Rivers just outmarks Josh Dunkley there. So, but yeah, very interesting to see. Personally, I don't know if I want Dunkley to go huge tonight, because I know a few people got in VC and they'll be able to take that, and I went Doc. But if he scores all right, I think Chandler got another handball there as well. So, yeah, there we go. So Rayner looks like he's in a little bit of discomfort as well. Hunter coming back. Probably just a landing on the hip. I think Rayner will be okay there. Daniel says, apparently Tigers may tag Laird, assistant coach said could be a play. Yeah, but then again, Giants said they were going to tag Laird last week, and Giants didn't actually end up tagging Laird. So I don't really see that as an issue. Tigers don't really have anyone that could tag anyway. I don't sit like their midfield's going to be Taranto, Hopper, and Prestia, and none of them are taggers. Like they all go for their top as that in and under guy that gets the ball out. Taranto's similar, but he can also get it on the outside. And then you've got Prestia, who doesn't tag against fine zone ball. So I doubt they're going to tag him. I think that's just them saying that pre-game. But yeah, I wouldn't imagine that they're going to tag Laird. But if they do, good. I would say good luck to him, but he struggled last week, so they could do well. But Laird has been tagged in the past and still put up 120s, so I'm not really too worried. But yeah, if you're a little bit worried about that, then you can go Jack Graham. Yeah, he could. I could see Jack Graham doing more of a Jordan Dawson tag role. That I don't see Graham playing that much midfield time with Prestia Hopper and Taranto, and then you also got Dusty that will roll through there. Cochin may run through there. So I don't see Jack Graham tagging Laird. But then again, you never know. It could be wrong. So Petrarca, it's a long kick, it's a good goal. Melbourne go back in front by a point there. So, but yeah, it could, Daniel, it definitely could be an option for Richmond to do. I could see Jack Graham tagging Dawson more than anything. But yeah, we'll be very interesting to see. I think Lads, for me, I've put in captain because I think he's my captain choice. Like Tom Green's there, but I don't know if he's really put himself in the frame for a captain choice yet. Like he's had one good game. I want to see a couple more weeks before I really consider him as a captain. VC could be different, but not as a straight captain. Josh Kelly would have been a great option this week against West Coast, but obviously, as we know, he won't be playing. Andrew Brayshaw against North would be my pick, but I don't have him. Dunkley wouldn't have been a bad option tonight, but I'm not huge on. Dunkley would have been a good VC, probably not. So Gornsby on the bench for nearly 7 minutes. I'm just trying to get a good angle because the angle's not great. So Grundy's still in the ruck and Gorn is still off. So it'll be interesting to see exactly what the issue was there. Ashcroft, beautiful clearance. It's the first time I've seen Ashcroft in the game. Cameron, Gus Brayshaw, the handball there as well. It's McVee. The bloody birds in the background. I might have to shut them up in a sec. What have we got? So still showing the. Oh no, that's Ashcroft. Yeah, beautiful clearance. So score update. What do we got? So you guys can see the scores on the screen the whole time anyway. But I don't always look on the thing. So Nathan, still no confirmation regarding Gorn. Yeah, I don't know. He's been off for a fair while and something definitely happened. So be very interesting to see what happens. So Zorko's top scoring was 16 along with Harris Andrews. Sparrow getting through there. Clayton Oliver with a kick there. Berry, no, it's kicked over the top. Gus Brayshaw getting through there. Brilliant work. It's a little bit scrappy last 5 minutes. Both teams making a few mistakes. It's Chandler again pushing high up the ground. So he's actually moved himself. He was on 10 points, so he's moved to 16 points. So he's had a very good start as well. If he was, for me, if he was to go 100 tonight again, obviously the good thing is I got him. But if he was to go 100 tonight, that would make things interesting for me because I could bank that 100 and then a 77 from Holland by keeping Kelly. And I'd also then be tempted to go and bring in Bailey Humphrey on my bench in my forward line because he'll play at some point and it would give me cash next week to then get Tom Green. That would be interesting, but I guess we'll see. It's only the start of the game. Danaher around the body. Yeah, because I'll go Tom Power down and keep Josh Kelly. And that'll be something there. Then I could trade Sheed potentially or trade someone else if I want to. But we'll see how he goes. He's top scoring for Melbourne at the moment. But then again, he's got another mark. Well, he's looking really good, man. A few people are going to have him on field as well. I just didn't have him on field because I got obviously Sheasel and then I've got Powell. And I was like, well, Powell's a mid-price. So I'm probably not going to move off of Powell. But there's Darcy Wilmot there. I think, is that his? No. So he's moved to 10. So he's already a quarter of the way to Cowan's score, which is a little bit annoying as a guy that started Cowan. But, oh, well, they'll make money, which is good. Brisbane, no, rushed. So Daniel says probably will need to get a non-playing player in for Bailey Lowry. That's the hard one. Yeah, it's a tough one. I just don't know. I just don't know if I'd trade Laird personally. But again, as I said, Daniel, if you want to trade Laird and you're comfortable doing it, then that's, I guess, all that matters. I'm probably a bit biased as well, being the Laird man. So, Ashcroft's getting involved. a little bit more now, which is good. He had a bit of a quiet start to the game. I'm really impressed with, so Chandler's on 22. I'm really impressed with how high he's getting up the ground. He's really getting involved in the play. Like, I know we've seen some of these forward pockets can stay back in defense in their forward 50, and unless they kick goals, they don't get involved. Whereas Cade Chandler's now the top scoring player of the game on 22, and he's looking good. He's getting up the ground, getting involved in the play. So even though Tom Green's a good get this week, he's almost making it sort of, I can't, like, we'll see if he gets if he would have to go 100 for me to consider that, because I'm still getting Tom Green and Power could still go and have a decent game. There's another blasted kick in the 50. So yeah, halfway through the quarter, Chandler's on 22 points. Then you've got Zorko 16, a few people may have him in draft. Dunkley's on 10. Wilmot's on 10. McKenna's on 7. Grundy's on 10. Petrarca's on 14. Oliver's on 16. So most of the players are doing all right to start, and we'll have a look down here. So Gus Brachel's on 10 as well. Ashcroft's on 5. Been getting a little bit more involved in the last few minutes, which has been good. McVee's on 5. Gawn's on 4. Okay, that looks like Gawn's being subbed out here, because Jake Melkson's putting his Guernsey on and getting his stuff on. So that doesn't look good. That looks like Gawn potentially could be being subbed out. And Conor McKenna lining up for goal here as well. And yeah, Lockie Neal was on 4 as well. He was the other one I missed. But yeah, so it's looking as if Gawn is going to be subbed out of the game. Wow, that's very interesting. Be very interesting to see what that injury is. So yeah, if anyone's listening, let me know. I know that a few people said that haven't had a confirmation yet, but yeah, very interesting to see what that injury is and if that's going to be something that's long term. But again, that's going to be another forced trade for some coaches out there. What's Gawn's current ownership? Let's have a quick look. So Gawn's ownership is sitting at, yeah, it's 10%. It's another like decent chunk of people that have got Max Gawn in their side. So again, that's another bullet that people are going to have to deal with next week. And it's not, again, it's his break even was 108 and he's only scored 4 points. Again, he's going to drop a lot in cash. And yeah, so that's really disappointing for those coaches. But from a football sense, it'll be interesting now to see how Grundy goes being the solo ruck. I'm not talking fantasy wise. I'm actually just talking just general footy wise. It'll be interesting to see how he goes as the main ruck for Melbourne. Is that Chandler again? No, it's Neil Bull in that time. But Chandler Chandler was near there again. So getting high up the ground to get involved. And he's near the contest again here. And he might get it. Yeah, he's got it. Handball. So Chandler again getting heavily involved in the game. 24 points at the moment. So if he keeps doing this, it's going to be a lot easier for coaches to play him at F6 and feel comfortable playing him at F6, knowing that Sir Dunkley's got the free as well. Play him at F6 knowing that he's going to score solid, because if he puts up another good game, that's against Brisbane and Bulldogs that he's put up 2 good scores against. So again, quarter time, it's not even the first quarter yet, but he's already on 24. So even if he only gets another 30 points of the game, he's still got a 54, and you wouldn't have been that like upset with the 54 on field from a rookie. So yeah, as I said, gets 100, that could make me hold Kelly, because I'd be relying on him, because then I could go edit trade, go power down to Chandler instead of Fergus Green and keep that, and then play Chandler on field from here on, and that would give me cash then to potentially fix stuff up next week. So let's see how he keeps going. VWR says LDU or Setterfield. Yeah, we had this discussion on the Twitter space. It was a really tough one to call this one. The one flag, I think both guys have got flags. I think the first flag for LDU is the fact that he's got Hawthorn next week, and I would put money on he's going to get the beginner's tag. And with Setterfield, he did play Hawthorn. So is he really going to score like highly every week? I think Setterfield can put up a 90, 95 average, and I think LDU can go 105. I think it becomes very team dependent for that one. I think if you've got a Tanner Brun that you want to fix up next week and you need that extra cash, I think that Gawn officially has been subbed out. So that sucks. Really does. Who's snapped the goal there? Zorko. So Brisbane get out to a 7-point lead. That Gawn out as well. That's going to be big for Brisbane in terms of them being on on track to win the game. But again, early stages. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, if you need the cash, I'd be going Setterfield because he's going to make a lot more cash. But if you want a season-long keeper and that's what you're looking for, I'll then do it. So Moonboy, wave to Moonboy Bales. There you go. There's a wave Moonboy if you wanted that one. Daniel, Miss Chandler, damn. Oh, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, I think if you miss Chandler this week, I think that's the boat sailed because he's going to be over 300K more than likely, really based on from now. So, yeah, if you miss Chandler, unfortunately, that's the boat sailed, I think. Yeah, again, if he goes 100, you could always bring him in next week because he might hold his spot. But yeah, unfortunate for that one, Daniel there. Nathan, help me with a trade, everyone. Stewart, Bytel, Kelly injured last week. Damn it. I only copped the Kelly bullet, and I feel so because people copped 2 bullets, 3, and I know people who've copped 4 as well. So, in terms of order, I'd be getting rid of them, Nathan. I think Stewart and Bytel for me, I'd be getting rid of because Kelly's only going to miss a week, and he should be back next week. And at least the other 2, they're probably away for a lot longer. Sounds like Bytel could be up to a month, and the same with Tom Stewart. I'm not sure with Bytel, but I've heard a couple of rumors he could be out for a while. Lockie Neal goes back to Ashcroft. Ashcroft getting busy now. Had a few disposals. Maybe not a huge score-wise, but he's getting amongst the action, which is good. So, but yeah, in terms of that, so what have you looked at here? So Nathan says, first I can go Hollands to cover Kelly, which is, yep, that's a good move. Stewart to Ed Richards and then Bytel to Callahan. Or Hollands to cover Bytel, go Stewart to Young, Kelly to Cogs. No, I'd be keeping Kelly and I'd be doing the Stewart to Richards, Bytel to Callahan. If you don't have Will Day, I'd get Will Day over Ed Richards to save a little bit more money. But if you're hot on Ed Richards, I'd do that option. Having Ed Richards and Josh Kelly for next week and then getting Callahan as well, I think is the play. So that's what I'd be doing. Is that a free kick for McCarthy? Could have been. It was hell without the ball. Ashcroft late tackle. Charlie Cameron. McKenna. McKenna's been busy. McKenna's on 22 points now. So is that a free for Ashcroft? Yeah, Ashcroft. Here we go. He kicked his first goal last week, but this would be good. So what's happened here? So yeah, Rivers got him high. Yeah, it's high. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, McKenna's putting his hand up for an option as for your D6 because if he has another decent score against Melbourne today, it looks like Brisbane want to get the ball in his hands and. For me, that would probably say that because I've bet 100K next week, I'd be happy to go someone down and go maybe even a Cowan up to McKenna to shore up that D6 spot. Ashcroft kicked the goal. So beautiful. Brisbane 4-2-26 to Melbourne 2-1-30. So doubled the score. Brisbane looking good early. So we knew that they were going to respond. They had to respond after last week. So yeah, Daniel looks like Gawn's out. Yep, he's been officially subbed out there. Nathan, it's Grundy time. Gawn's subbed. Daisy's still trying to work out the injury. Yeah, I think I don't know what it is. Looks like a knee or an ankle, but yeah, he's officially been subbed out. So Grundy will be the main ruck now. So interesting to see how he goes and as the solo ruck. Moonboy, haha, legend. Mate, happy to make your night with a wave there. We'll give you another one. There you go. There's a second one for you. VWR says, cheers, Buzz. All happy to help, mate. Moonboy, Chandler is so good. Yeah, he's looking very, very good. Look good early. So that goal moves Ashcroft to 19 points. So it's good. So 4 minutes to go. If you can only get involved in another couple of touches, then that'll be good as well. So yeah, Melbourne look like they're a bit under the cosh here. That could be deliberate. Yeah, deliberate. Yeah, I thought that might have been paid. He went for the boundary. So who's that? Is that Wilmot taking the free kick? Yes, it looks like it. So that'll move Wilmot to 13 points. And Big O's taking the mark. So, yeah, if Brisbane kick this goal, this is a good start for Brisbane. Very, very good start for Brisbane. Again, we've seen teams start well and then they haven't gone on to win, but it'd be a very good start. Paul Erickson has said, are we starting to get concerned about the Brisbane mids? I wouldn't say just yet. I'd wait to see what happens for the rest of this game and in the future. So, yeah, Gawn knee injury. That looks bad. He's in the rooms looking really sorry. So is that? I don't want to speculate about injuries, but that to me looks like someone that's done a pretty serious knee injury for me. Being in the change rooms by yourself, obviously looking quite distressed. That could be quite serious. Yeah, Moonboy, as you said, Gordon isn't getting any younger, and hope it isn't the season. I hope it's not a season either. But for I need to talk from a fantasy sense because someone's going to mention it anyway. So I may as well say it. And I feel bad for Gordon getting injured. I don't want to see anyone get injured. I want to make that quite clear before I start speaking. But if Gordon is out for long term or season, Grundy for me is almost a must have because he'd be the solo ruck for Melbourne for a big portion of the season. We know what scoring he can do. So not actually, I'm not going to say must have. Actually, no, he's not a must have. I'll retract the must have. I'll just say he will all of a sudden become a very good option. Zach Bailey, or he did duck for that, so probably not. I wouldn't pay that. Fumbled it and then he ducked. Yeah, fair enough, not being paid, but yeah, that would make Grundy a very interesting option. And there are going to be people out there that started with Grundy, saw that 60 last week and jumped off. Danaher, goal. Brisbane, another one. Whew. Big star. 6-2, 38 to 2-1, 13. Yeah, Gordon doesn't look good. I would, again, I'm no medical expert, but reading that body language and looking at him, that looks to me like that is an ACL or something pretty serious. Which would suck because I love Gordon. I love him. He's fantastic. Probably be one of my top sort of 10, 15 players in the AFL. I think he's great. But yeah, that looks terrible. I wish that again, this would be good for someone in the chat if you're watching the game. Put in the chat what they're saying about it because I've got obviously on mute because I don't want it sort of interrupting in this, but yeah, so yeah, that's obviously really really bad. It's been a quiet couple of minutes for our fantasy sort of relevant players. Chen hasn't obviously moved from his 24, but that's still fine. And like your Olivers and stuff haven't moved up a huge amount in the last few minutes either. So it's been a bit of a quiet sort of back half of the quarter for a few of the players, but I'm sure they'll keep trucking along with their scores. But yeah, hopefully it's not season for Gorn. Because the thing is as well, if that was a season for Gorn, that would be a huge blow for Melbourne for the whole season because he's their captain. He's one of their best players, and their whole trump card this year was going to be Gorn and Grundy as the duo. And if you lose your captain and your best ruckman in the second game of the year, yeah, it's not good. Paul says commentary just speculating on Gorn. Yeah, what have they exactly been saying, Paul? Have they been saying it could be an ACL, or are they saying it's just an MCL or a PCL or something, or is it an ACL? Let me know. Nathan, no confirmation about ACL, but commentators complaining injury stuff like their tips. Well, at the end of the day, I think you'd rather lose a tip and see every single player playing a game healthy than a guy get injured. And I'm saying that again from tipping Brisbane, but I did change late as well. But yeah, it's Zorko getting a bit of beef with Gus Brayshaw. Obviously, no love lost between Zorko and Melbourne. Obviously, with that whole petty situation from what was it last year, second game last year. Zorko with the free kick as well. So if Brisbane get another goal here with this inside 50, that'd be a huge start for Brisbane. Which probably shouldn't surprise many people. Brisbane are one of the top teams in the AFL, and they should be. They've got a great team and a great list. I had them pegged as finishing on top of the ladder for me before last week, and then would have shuffled them down a little bit after that. But yeah, I'm not surprised they've had a big start. Olive with a tackle there. Zorko getting away from a striker there. 40 seconds to go in the first quarter. Any more scoring? Be interesting to see. Is that Zorko down behind play? So someone looked like they body checked him behind play. He was running away from Petrarca. So it looks like someone must have come in and sort of given him one. Yeah, he looks a bit sore. Caught one in the bread basket, I'd imagine. Let's have a look. He's running away. So Petrarca's just completely bowled him over. Probably a little bit unnecessary, but hey, we never know what was said in that game. So maybe there is a bit of hatred there. Don't know. 15 seconds to go. Melbourne may have a chance to score late. Joyce has taken the intercept mark there. So that will be it for the quarter, I would imagine. Yeah, the quarter time, Brisbane 6-2-38 to Melbourne 2-1-13. So Brisbane, big start. Again, shouldn't surprise many people that they've had a big start because this is at the Gabba. They struggled last week. They were in the media a lot. So yeah, Melbourne, Moonboy, Melbourne Big Footy Board saying it looks like a season done. No info though, seeing what we're seeing on TV. Yeah, that would suck if that's a season ender. Round 2, all the preseason, all the hard work that Melbourne have made and Gawn's made, and then you season the injury like that. That's not great. And then Moonboy Duncan needs to get moving another 70, and I'll be jumping off. So yeah, let's have a look at the scores for this game. So Dane Zorko top scoring 41. That's good. I've got him in a keeper league, so that'll be good having him back this week and scoring well. Jake Lever 33, Clayton Oliver 29. That's good. So he's a decent start to the game. Petrarca 27. Big O's had 27. Well, I think I've got him in another keeper league as well. Actually, no, just got him in another draft team. Cade Shannon 24. So he didn't score much after that, but still good start. You'd still take 24 from a rookie like that. Then you've got Connor McKenna 22. That's obviously a good score there. Lockie Neal 22. Will Ashcroft on 19, so that's not too bad. You take a 19, he's on track for about an 80, so that's not bad. If you can get a little bit more, that'd obviously be fantastic. But Grundy 15, Gus Brayshaw 15, but obviously Grundy now is going to be, even if Gawn's not ruled out for the season, it still looks like it could be even if it's not an ACL, it could be an MCL, still could be 6-8 weeks, which means Grundy's going to have a bit of a run at that first ruck. So we'll be interested to see how he scores in the last 3 quarters of this game and heading into next week. So, Gus Brayshaw 15, I think I said that already. Wilmot's on 14. So he got the point for the free kick when it was deliberate. I didn't realise that the players got the points for when it gets kicked out deliberate, but there you go. Josh Dunkley 13. That's really quiet. As Moonboy said, if he gets another 70, then I probably still won't jump off because the only one I go to is Cornelio, but I'm probably going to have other issues. But if Dunkley struggles again, then yeah, it could be a situation where you do jump off. And that's pretty much it. And then Joe McVee's on 5, and then obviously Gawn subbed out on 4. So obviously the Grundy, so the Gawn thing sucks. But yeah. Moonboy, luckily everyone owns Dunkley. Yeah, that's another good point as well. Everyone does own Josh Dunkley, so it's cancelled out. But yeah, I don't think anyone has said that they're going to jump on. So it may just be me. Maybe I might have to directly message some people to see if they want to jump on. That might be what I have to do. But yeah, so not bad stuff. So again, keep sending your questions through. I'll answer those questions on Twitter space that weren't answered. So yeah, feel free to put them back in the live chat as well, so I can just read them out there. But if not, I'll answer them through Twitter as well. I'll just message some people just see if they want to jump on. If they don't, All right, here we go. Missing a couple of people. See if anyone wants to jump on. Here we go. Yeah, there's a few people that could potentially come on. Just messaging people. Maybe hopefully get one or two people to jump on. If not, that's obviously completely fine. I'll be happy just to do the watch along myself. But as I said, creates good conversation if we can get someone else on. I wonder if you guys can hear my fan's quite loud. I can hear it through my headphones. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but a bit loud. Yeah, miss a fair few people. So we'll see if anyone replies and see if anyone wants to jump on. There we go. Miss a few people. But yeah, so obviously the big talking point from the first quarter is obviously the Gawn injury. Doesn't look good. It looks like he could be out for a little bit. Even as I said, even if it's not a ACL, it could potentially be just like an MCL, and that means that he could be out for a while. So it's gone on the. So they're saying it now, so I can't hear it. So it'd be good, interesting to see out of you guys that are listening to it. That if it so, what's it look like? So he tries to run off. Oh yeah, I know that from that angle that doesn't look good. His knee bends backwards. That doesn't look good. We're going to get Sanch on, but he's actually at the game. You see, he's doing his own watch along. There you go. So a few people said they can't jump on, but that's all good. Apologies, guys. Just replying to the people that said they can't jump on. All right. We're back. All right. Apologies for that. Just replying to messages and stuff. So, all right. What do we got here? We've got a few people in the chat that have said a few things. So, Nathan says, agreed, Bales. If a coach has jumped off Dunkley before this game, could be one of those league-winning moves. Yeah, that's exactly right. And I know that I think people have spoken about it and saying that Selby says all the time says go your gut, and I agree. If you felt like Dunkley was going to go 100 or less in average, then he could be a guy that you just go, I'm jumping off and I can grab him later, but I can then get a cash grab and use that money on top of someone else. So if you've done it and it's looking good for you at the moment, he's on 18 at the moment. So he's had 5 points in the first sort of minute and a half of this quarter. So it'd be interesting to see what he ends up on. I've got him and I don't even VC. So I probably don't want him going 140 tonight, but a 110, I'd be 115, I'd be happy with. So yeah. But it's funny though that in the preseason, a lot of people, in myself included, would have been probably 30% of the competition or maybe a bit less would have been on Laird, Doherty, Dunkley, and Marshall. I think Dunkley just took it. Did you take a mark there? If he did, that'll put him up a bit higher. Wilmot's just taken a mark as well, so he'll move to 20 points. So he's already halfway to bloody Cowan's score, and it's only 2 minutes into the second quarter. It's a bit annoying, but yeah, a lot of people started with Doherty, Dunkley, Laird, and probably not much, just those big three, and all three so far have you got to say have failed, because Doherty got a 110. Okay, great, he's priced at 110, and then he also got Dunkley's on. Dunkley's on 25 now, so he's starting to get moving. He's already doubled his score in this quarter in 3 minutes than he did in the first quarter, but. Yeah, Dunkley didn't work last week. Laird didn't work last week. Again, Laird could go big this week. Dunkley could go big from here as well. But yeah, to start, you sort of the people that shaved the coin off of those big guys, you'd be pretty happy. So Gunston, he's shanked it. He's not even one of the best kicks. Complete shank. Moonboy, love these ride-alongs on the weekend bars. Good fun. I appreciate it, Moonboy. At the moment, it's... I want to be like, there's not enough people tuning in at the moment for me to continue doing them the whole season. I'll still do them for another month or so, and we'll see how we go 5-6 weeks in. But if there's only maybe like 3-4 people tuning in after a few weeks, then I might not do them anymore, just because it's like I can just probably sit back and watch the game myself, and it's only with 5 people. So, but if this starts growing, like getting 10, 15, 20 people, and then hopefully even more, starts doing that, then I'll probably continue doing them. But yeah, we'll see how we go over the next few weeks. But I appreciate you tuning in, and whoever's tuning in, and if you're enjoying them, let me know. Leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Moonboy says, my wife's team didn't start Doherty, Laird, or Dunkley. Looking like a good move so far. Yeah, it is. It is looking like a good move, because they've all been sort of not great so far. Again, Dunkley could go big tonight, and then Laird could go big tomorrow night. But so far, Doherty, you'd say, hasn't paid off so far, and yeah, so not looking great for those big guys. Paul says no news yet. Moonboy, Paul gone, and then Paul Erickson suggests commentary suggests meniscus. So I don't know roughly how long that would be out if it was a meniscus. I don't know if that's surely at least a month. Could be a fair while if it's a meniscus. Moonboy, keep going, Chandler. Had to move heaven and earth to get him in this week. Is that Wilmot again? Or was that McKenna? Moonboy, Wilmot D6, let's go. Yeah, he's doing well, which is a little bit annoying for me as a guy that had Wilmot on my field, and then I benched him for Cowan because I thought this would be a tougher matchup against Melbourne. But as long as McKenna doesn't go 70 plus, I'll be okay. But if he goes 70 plus, that would have cost me a good 30, 40 points. And he could get it here. Yeah. Wait, oh no, that wasn't him. Okay. It was on 23, but I don't know if that's updated. It says 5.5 minutes into the quarter. Yeah, Wilmot's on 29. Yeah. He's only 11 points away now from Cowan's score. I should have bloody backed in Wilmot. I had him in there for the last 3 days, and then I put Cowan on. So I just thought Cowan had a better matchup and he would have scored better. But no, Neil kicked straight out in the full. Nathan, Ruckpig takes a bounce. Yeah, getting involved, which is good. 21 points for him. So at the moment. Moonboy, Wilmot, you legend. Sorry, Bales. Yeah, unfortunately, mate, I'm not going to revel in your joy. I certainly don't want Wilmot doing too well he'll make money, which is good. And if he starts doing well, then maybe you do play him at D6. But yeah, I want to try and move up those ranks, not slide down. And I think a few people would have started Wilmot on the field. Oliver through the middle. Tony bounce. Is that Chandler? Or was that Hunter? I reckon that was Hunter. So yeah, there you go. So obviously we consider about Brisbane mids, but they're starting to get involved a lot more. So you've got like Neil's on 43 now, Berry's 36, Junkley's 27, and McCuggers has now moved to 24. So they're starting to get involved. So yeah, there were worries about potentially the Brisbane mids, but they are starting to get involved now. So we'll see how we go. But yeah, Wilmot's doing well, which is you might get it here as well. No, McCluggage. So, but he missed that. So, yeah. All right, let's have a look. Anyone responded? No, it looks like no one can jump on. That's okay. We're all good. I wonder how many people put Dunkley straight captain. That'd be very interesting to see. Charlie Cameron sprinting away from Rivers. Oh. Gunston almost. Moonboy, who's your captain, Bales? My captain's Rory Laird. I thought about Dunkley tonight, going straight to Dunkley, but I thought after a poor one last week, I thought I'd wait. Taranto's been in consideration. Who else have I looked at? Tom Green was a bit of a consideration as well, but I just don't know if I want to put in captain just yet. Wilmot 32. Wilmot is 8 points away from Lockie Cowan's score last night. That is just fantastic. Even if he doubled his score from now and didn't touch it for the rest of the quarter, and he only got 32 points the second half, that's still a 64. And you'd be pretty happy with that as your D6. And I've got 40 sitting there. So that's annoying considering I want to be moving up ranks. Like these rookie calls are what? A high tackle with Ashcroft free kick, which is good. Get Ashcroft some more points. He's been a little bit quiet in this quarter. He might have started on the bench though, so that's maybe why. He'll be fine though. People are worried about Ashcroft as an option. I'm not. Everyone's got him, and he'll be fine. So no worries at all. But yeah, Laird's my captain at the moment, Moonboy, and I don't think that's going to change either. Got to back him in. I paid him $1.07 million for him. He had a poor week one. Didn't score under 90 last year. That was his lowest score since 2015, round 3. So it's almost 8 years ago that he had that score, like that poor a score. So I'll back him in. I see him responding to at least a 110. I'd at least triple figures, hopefully. But yeah. So yeah, let's have a look at the score update. So we got Zorko top scoring on 53. You got Harris Andrews 46, Lockie Neal 45, Clayton Oliver 41. So Oliver's ticking along nicely. Same with Neal. Wilmot 32. Obviously, he's doing really well. He's on track for a good score at D6 for those people that have got him there. Dunkley's 27, Petrarca 31, Chandler 30. So Chandler's only had the one mark and kick since the opening sort of 10, 15 minutes. So he's been a bit quieter, but then again, Melbourne have struggled early. Gus Brayshaw 29, Grundy 24, and then we've got to scroll down, so I'll go on to the other things. So you've got Ashcroft's there at 23, so it's not bad. Conor McKenna 22 hasn't scored any points in this quarter so far. So Grundy's moved to 27 as well. You probably just saw that tick over there. Then you've got pretty much it. So most people, Judd McVee's only on 5. So if anyone's got him, that's probably not great. He's going to be on your bench, so I would doubt anyone's going to have him on field. But yeah, so looks like the majority of our options are scoring quite well to begin the game, which is good. Ben Brown looks like he'll be lining up for goal here. So yeah, it's good. At least most people are going to have good players from this game so far. I'll be sitting here a lot chirpy if I had Wilmot on the field because he's on track for a pretty good score. But yeah, rookie roulette, that's what always happens. I thought that my reasoning was pretty sound up against Melbourne, who are tough for wingers, and Cowan against Geelong. Collingwood scoring quite well last week, and Cowan did have 35 in just over half a game. So I thought maybe he could get to a 60, but only 40. I think Cowan's third quarter as well. He only had one kick. So again, you add 10 points there, and that's a 50, and then I wouldn't be too unhappy with it. But yeah, Wilmot's doing well, which is good. At least it's still making cash. So I've got to look at a positive. I can't be all doom and gloom here. But yeah, halfway through the quarter, 32, you'd be pretty happy with that in the second. So, oh yeah, that's right. Minimum was there. That's right. Yeah. So Ben Brent kicks the goal. 6-3-39 for Brisbane, 3-2-20 for Melbourne. So Melbourne needed that goal. Melbourne couldn't allow Brisbane to get another 1 or 2 without scoring, because if that was the case, it'd be near a 6-goal, 7-goal lead, and then all of a sudden the game's getting away from Melbourne. So yeah. So we've got in their centre here. So we've got Bailey, Dunkley, and Ashcroft. And yeah. Grundy's looked good though this quarter, being that solo ruck, which you'd expect that. So Oliver was starting it up forward in that, so he wasn't in the centre bounce. So, but he gets the +6 here, which is good for people with Oliver. Oliver would have been a good shout for a VC tonight as well, by the way, if because people were talking about Dunkley and Doherty, but if you're one of those people that had Oliver as an option, Oliver would have been a pretty good shout. He looked good last week, and we know how consistent and how good he is. So, did you mark it though? Yeah, I'd pay. Close. I'd still pay the mark. You're hoping as a 9 it gets paid a mark anyway. Is that Wilmot standing next to Oliver? Very interesting matchup. Wilmot against Oliver. I don't know if I'd quite have that matchup. Don't know if Payne's injured or not. He's been good, Payne, for Brisbane. Sort of on the outers. I think, was he at Collingwood or something? He was at another club, I think, and then he didn't play, and then came to Brisbane. Didn't get too much of a go early, but he's been good last couple of years. Moonboy can't decide between Canelio, Taranto, and Bont for captain. Oh, that's a tough one. If you can VC one, then great. You could VC Taranto into Bont or Cogs. But if you've already VC'd Moonboy, then who would you go to Cogs through? So Cogs has got West Coast, good matchup. No Josh Kelly, no Whitfield, no Perryman. Taranto's got Adelaide, scored well last week. Adelaide allow points. And then Bontempelli, no tag, should be coming. St Kilda looking for a bounce back. Oh, that really is. It's a tough one. I don't know who you'd go out of those three. Would you go Bont, captain of the Bulldogs, one to respond? He is in your midfield. You paid up for him. So do you want go him, or do you want to go for Taranto, who's got a good match against the Crows, but it is away and Richmond can sometimes not score high, regardless of who they play? Or do you go for a Cog Canelio, who's got West Coast? I think I'd probably back Bont. I think. Because I think Canelio, I don't know if Canelio and Taranto's like huge ceilings of 130s and that are there, but they're probably consistent for your 110. Whereas Bont, again, his floor is quite high. I don't see him going much less than an 85, 90, but he's also got a high ceiling. And I could see this game being a high ceiling game for Bont. But then in saying that, does Rossline move someone onto him mid-game? I think Calvin had Taranto higher. So I'll probably stick with Taranto. But I do quite like Bont. Urban on the Twitter space said that he's going Bont as a bit of a unique captain. So if you like Bont, I think go whatever your gut tells you, Moonboy, I think, with that one. Nathan said Oliver scored well last week versus strong midfield. Looks okay this week versus strong midfield. He was priced at 995k. There was so much discussion about his consistency, but not discussion about value. I don't think personally Oliver was any value. You're paying up for his consistency and him just being a safe captain option and being consistent. He was priced around that 111, 112, 113 mark, and I think he'll average about that. I don't think he's got enough ceiling games to average 115. Obviously, but his floor games keep him up above 110. So I see him being anywhere from 110 to 115, but I see him being more around that 112, 113 mark. And that's pretty much what he is. He's just super consistent. So he's always a great pick every year. Supercoach, obviously, is almost a must-have every year because of how consistent and like good he is. But so Cameron to kick the goal. So again, that puts him out again over 4 goals. So 7,345 to 3,220. So Brisbane getting that goal back, and yeah, they're looking good. So Moonboy, Grundy's moving up the score chart. If Marshall doesn't turn it around, is a genuine option? Yeah, 100% it is. If Marshall has another poor game next week, you could see Campbell come in, and all of a sudden it's like Grundy without Gawn for we don't know how long for, and we know what the ruck pig's like. Could be a very different option, but it could be something for interesting. Moonboy, thanks for the detailed analysis, but you're a real one. Appreciate it, Moonboy. I assume that was with the captaincy discussion, but yeah, that's hard. Taranto into Bont if you've got your VC open, but if not, you probably could just back in Taranto. But Bont is also a good option against the Saints. So what Saints allowed last week with all the +6s. So yeah, and I don't see a tag claim for Bont. So that's probably what almost leans. My gut is telling me Bont out of the 3. I think Bont is going to go big. He started on fire last week with a 39 point opening quarter, and he tailed off because Bulldogs struggled after quarter time. Whereas they're playing St Kilda this week. I don't see them struggling against St Kilda. I think they'll win. I think they'll win big. I think a bit like Brisbane started well here. I think that they have to start well after what they did. Oh, that's advantage goal. Brisbane another goal. Danaher, Bailey got his head taken off. So Brisbane another one. That's a now 5-goal lead. So 51, 8-3, 51 to 3-2-20. Game's starting to get away from Melbourne now. At the moment, I'm looking like I'm pretty happy with changing my tip to Brisbane before the bounce. Oh yes, KFC for dinner. Yes, please. Mum just said, "Do you want KFC for dinner?" I'm like, "Yeah." Can never say no to KFC unless you're vegan or vegetarian, of course. Which that is perfectly fine. You can eat exactly what you want. But I love KFC, so I'll be picking KFC. But yeah, really looking forward to what am I going to get? I'm going to get the Zinger combo, I reckon. I can get the Zinger combo like I always get. Just the usual. Ashcroft, another free. Yep, get the handball off. So Ashcroft again, starting to really build into the game. I think he's on 35 now as well. So, I think that it'll be big. So, but yeah, again, if you're listening live, get your questions in. Appreciate all the chat that's being put in at the moment. So it's good. We've had a fair bit of chat tonight compared to even last week. Like last week, we didn't have as many people in the chat. We've probably had the same amount of people viewing, but people obviously been active in chat, which is great. Was that Dunkley? Oh, he's hit the post. Yes, the Dunkley tackle there. So Dunkley's starting to build in as well. He's not in the scorers there. So Wilmot's on 35, so he's 5 points away from Cowan. That sucks. It's very annoying. It's the thing that the ones that annoy me in fantasy the most is when I have had an option and then I change last minute and then it doesn't work out and I should have just backed in what I was thinking all week. Like I backed Wilmot in because I thought he scored 45 against Port Adelaide in a tough matchup. And I thought I'd go him because he scored the most. As Tim said, look at Tim's formula. Pick the rookie that scored the most the week before. And then I thought, well, Wilmot against Melbourne, tough wingers. maybe he only scores a 40 or 50 again, whereas I'd prefer to play the ceiling game where I thought Cowan may be able to get to a 60 or a 70 potentially against Geelong, with Collingwood getting a bit. And I had a feeling Carlton were going to win. I tipped Carlton last night as well. I thought Carlton were going to win, just with Geelong has still got a few injuries. Hawkins doesn't look 100%. Duncan's obviously not there. Collar Jasney's not there. Jack Henry's not there. Ben Brown. It's a nice goal, that one. Keeps Melbourne in it, which is good for them. So 8-4, 52 for Brisbane, 4-2, 26 for Melbourne. So Melbourne back to halving the score again. Moon Boy, how was your time in the States? Yeah, it was good. It was good. I didn't have the best roommate, to be frank. We just sort of not arguments and clashing, but we just weren't alike. In America, I was hoping to have a roommate that was like into sport and whatever, and have, because I love my sport, so I was hoping to have something like that. But it was just the complete opposite. It was just he was always in the room and stuff, and I could go into a lot of detail, but it's probably not time or the place for going into detail. But yeah, just to say we were civil and everything, but we didn't gel, I guess. But yeah, that's okay. That's all good. Besides that, enjoyed the time. It was good over there. I'll be heading back over there actually for probably the start of next year, before the footy starts again. So just to catch up with everyone over there that I met, and yeah, it was good fun. Ashcroft with another clearance. Ashcroft looking good now in the second quarter. Had a big quarter. Moves into 38 as well. But yeah, appreciate you asking, Moon Boy. So yeah, at the moment, it doesn't look like anyone. Hang on, I am, but hang on. Can I just? Oh yeah, that's right. You invite. I potentially could have someone jumping on, potentially, but if they don't, that is completely fine as well. But if they're jumping on, then that'd be fantastic. Be good to get some discussion, even if it's just over half time as well. Because I've got to see because I may have to duck off for 5 minutes, which I'll just leave the scores up on the screen or whatever, just to feed the animals, because no one's home at the moment tonight. So I might have to just do that. That'll only take a few minutes, so it won't take too long. But we'll see. We'll see. Nope. No, why can't I just go to message? Why is it saying on Facebook when I try and message people, it says Meta Business Suite? Is that what you have to do to message? Looks like it. That's why I was on the bloody wrong account. Because I got 2 accounts on Facebook. Of course it was. That's why it wasn't working. Got to go on my other profile. Here we go. Okay, that's better. All right, so we'll see if it jumps on. I don't want to say who it is yet because they might not jump on, but if they jump on, then that would be great as well. So apologies for that. Perfect. The animals are all fed and done, so I don't have to worry about it. Perfect. Don't have to. Beautiful. Right, don't have to do that. All right. So we've got a couple of comments here. So what do we got? So Moonboy Chandler, not enough ball going forward now. And see that was the concern. Sorry, that was the one thing that I guess Chandler was relying on last week, was that Melbourne did play very well. And I guess as well, you thought Melbourne were gonna do well in this game. Like if they're playing obviously Brisbane, again, probably another likely top sort of 4 opponent. But you sort of thought, okay, the ball will probably get down there enough for him to score solid tonight. But against tough opposition, always is got the Gabba. Brisbane at the Gabba is one of the toughest places to go. So when he started really well, I was like, well, okay, that's good. He's on 32. So even if he goes as 3.5 minutes, if he gets maybe a couple more points in the last few minutes, is that Ashcroft? I don't know if that was Ashcroft that got the mark there. But even if he doesn't get that much more and he gets to a 60, I think you'd take a 60, right? Because you've got him in, his break even's negative 27. If he gets a 60, for one, he's had you a solid enough rookie score on field. Like, look, I've got Cowan on field for 40. I'd much rather have Hollands on field in my midfield and then have Chandler in my forward line. But that can be something I restructure next week. But Chandler, I think you're okay with. 32, he's what? In Melbourne, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He's their 8th highest scorer. So he's still in the top sort of third of the team. But yeah, obviously he started well. You probably want him to keep going, but he is a rookie. We got to remember at the end of the day, he wasn't going to always post up these hundreds, and he still could get 100 from here. You never know. But yeah, Paul Erickson says Dunkley really concerning me. I started the year thinking he could be the top scorer in the league, but he's not really impacting at all. He's not, but he's had a better quarter than he did the last one. So he only had 13 points in the first quarter, but he's had 43 in this quarter. So he's had a 30-point quarter already. And that's still with another 2.5 minutes, and he's around the ball now. So if he gets if he gets to 50, you'd tick it off because he's on track for 100. So I think we've got to probably remember as well that that Dunkley still could be on track for. He had a quiet first quarter, but he's had a big second quarter. And it's Neil that time. So, but Brisbane's midfield is starting to build into the game. So like Lachie Neale is top scoring for the game at the moment on 64 points because he just got a kick then. So. But yeah, I'm not too concerned about Dunkley unless he finishes on like a 70 again. But at the moment, he's on 47. He just got a tackle there. So yeah, he's on track for a solid enough score. So I think he's fine. Then you've got Nathan says, thanks for your great work, Bales. It has been grand. Appreciate it, mate. I do really appreciate all the support that you guys show on the channel. Not only for the watch-alongs. Obviously, we're slowly building, hopefully, our viewership. Ashcroft, he just looks awesome. And Zorko's been good this game as well. Is that a free kick from Brisbane? No. Gunston. Cameron's there. No, it won't be deliberate, I don't think. But yeah, what do we got here? Sorry. Yeah, as I said, appreciate all the support. And yeah, if you haven't checked out all the other videos, make sure you do as well. Is what trade. I think the schedule, if people like, I don't know if anyone wants to know the schedule, but in terms of the schedule, I'll be running on YouTube from here for the season, unless it starts getting too much and I might cut back a video. But this stage, everything's going well. So what I'm doing is Monday will be my round review video. So I'll just do a quick 15-minute video, just go through my team, how it went, what my early thoughts of trades are, and yeah, pretty much just a weekly update essentially. And also late after that'll probably go up about 3:30 Adelaide time, so about 4 p.m. Eastern. And then a few hours after that, later on, will be the daily news recap video. It's about a 5-minute hit. That's got some good support over the first 2 weeks of that, so it's been good. Tuesday will be just a daily news recap again, so about the 5-minute video again. Wednesday will be I'll be doing a Wednesday trade talk video, so be going through the popular ins and outs. I didn't include in the first one, but in the next one I'll be doing my top 5 targets for the week. So I'll say that in the video as well as the popular ones. Pritchard's kicked a good goal there, so Melbourne is still within touching distance. It's still only 20 points. Melbourne are a very good team. They can still come back. Just because they lost Gawn doesn't mean that they're out of the game. So. So yeah, and then also daily news recap on the Wednesday as well with the trade talk. Thursday is the only day that at the moment I don't have anything planned. I don't think I will. I think that'll be my day off. Just sit back, relax, watch the footy on Thursday night, listen to traders before. Friday will be obviously the watch-along for here, as long as obviously the support continues on here, which I appreciate. And I don't want to make that sound like people have to tune in. It's just that obviously, just if you look at it from my point of view, if there's only 3-4 people listening every Friday, Saturday night, there's probably not much point in me doing a watch along, because like I could just sit back and watch the game by myself and just relax. Whereas if there starts getting 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 people tuning in watching, then I'll definitely can keep doing it, because then you can get enough discussion and stuff like that. So that's pretty much how it sits there. And then Saturday's watch along as well. And then obviously on Twitter on Friday night before the lockout, before the watch along here, we do the Twitter space. Me and Tim Guest normally jumps on, but there'll be some weeks where he may not be able to. And then Dunkley, good handball just before the siren. And I think McKenna might have got the kick away as well. So might be some late points there. And then Sunday night is the big one. Me and Tim Guest, we do a podcast, live Twitter space on Twitter. We get some guests on. I think this week at this stage, and I'll actually reveal who we have on guests on here, because there's a few people tuning in, so a few people can get it. But at this stage, we are not official locked in, but they're both said that they're set to come on, so it looks good. Matt Mottram, obviously winner of Classic last year, will jump on with us, and then also Stato, Statesman from Pod, and the Draft Doctors. So it'd be good to get Stato on. Stato started well last round, so hopefully he can have another good week this week. And I think Matt struggled last week with a few injuries, but it'd be good to chat to them, and hopefully they come on, which would be good. But obviously if they can't, then that's all good as well. I'm sure that we'll figure something out if that doesn't happen. But yeah, at this stage, looks like both of them we're jumping on. So so I haven't got a reply from him yet. Hopefully he can jump on. But yeah, so let's have a look at the scores. So let's have a look at the. Actually, hang on. I'll read out the comments first. So Moonboy says Dunkley to Jason. Actually, no. I will go through the scores first, then I'll read out those. So scores at halftime. So Lockie Neal. So Clayton Oliver's top scoring on 65. Then you got Lockie Neal 64. So very good for those two. Their top scoring, obviously big primos. You got Zorko 63, Hunter 58, Andrews 57. Dunkley 53. So there you go. So Dunkley had a 40-point quarter there. So yeah, Dunkley's fine. Petrarca 50, Lever and Brown 48 each, Langdon 47, Grundy 46. So Grundy had a big quarter because he was only on about 13 points. So again, with the number one rut roll, he performed well in that quarter. And then you've got Ashcroft on 40. So that's good. You'd take that. Looked better in that second quarter as well. Wilmot 35. So he's looking again on track for a pretty good score, like a 70 maybe. If he gets to a 70, that's fantastic for people that got him. I don't currently have him on my field, but at least he's making cash, and at least he could potentially be an option moving forward to play on field at your D6. It does, you don't. So the thing is, if he struggled this week and Chester struggled, then you'd have to find a solution for D6, because you couldn't keep having these 40s and 50s in your team. So so Duncan just got tackle taken away. So he's now on 49, which looks a lot worse than what it is. But he still had a 36-point quarter, so it's okay. Kay Chandler 32. So he had a quiet quarter then. But again, you've got to remember he's a rookie. He's not going to put up these 100 scores all the time. Conor McKenna 29. He only had a 7-point quarter, so he's a little bit quiet as well. And then Angus Brayshaw 25. So I'm looking like I might have dodged one there. He was my D2 for a long period of the preseason with the Bulldogs matchup round 1. Then I thought he would still be able to be solid in round 2 and 3, but he has struggled this game so far. I'm assuming when Salem comes back, he'll score better, but could be an option for us to pick up in a few weeks, the cheaper option. And then McVee's only on 5 points, so he's struggling as well. So I'll get through your chat in a sec, guys. Give me 2 seconds. Just got to plug my computer and get the charger and shut the birds on the background. So we'll be back in 2 seconds. Give me a second. I'm back, guys. Apologies for that. Had a quick toilet break as well. So I thought, why not? Half time. Get everything done. So, all right. So apologies. Let's get through a few of this chat. There's a few comments. I'll read through them all. So, Moonboy said Dunkley to Jason Horn-Fronts or Zeeble could be a play next week. Luckily, all the top coaches own Dunks. As I know that you obviously said, after Dunks lifting out. So, yeah. But if you had to choose, I'd probably go Zeeble. I think Horn-Fronts is more a super coach player. I don't think he'll be able to score consistently in fantasy. Could be wrong, though. He looked good last week. He did have a 40-point quarter, so that's the one thing I'm trying to remember. That same thing with Setterfield as well. I think Setterfield's a better option and a very good option to bring in, but at the same time, he had a 50-point quarter. If he gets a 15, 20-point quarter instead, that's only a 90, but you'd be still happy with 90. But, yeah, that's why I probably got temper expectations, because 1 week of data is not enough. So, but yeah, Setterfield I'd grab, Zeeble I'd grab. Horn-France, I'd want to see another week. Paul says, yeah, when I posted a comment, he was still on 31. Yeah. So, yeah, then he's probably a little bit older, these comments. I'd much rather listen to you, Bales, than Brayshaw and BT. Thanks, mate. Appreciate it. Not quite the play-by-play commentary, but fantasy commentaries nonetheless. So, yeah, hopefully, as I said, we can build a Friday night and Saturday night crew to come on and chat every night, or chat those 2 nights. But yeah, as I said, hopefully we can keep building. You said Bradshaw. Okay, yeah, that's funny. Moonboy, I love that Bales is into UFC. Such a great sport. Nothing gets the heart racing like an epic title fight. So yeah. So it's actually a funny story how I got into UFC. So my best mate Ryan. So it was just before Conor McGregor was fighting Khabib at UFC 229, and he says to me, "So come watch UFC with me." And I thought, not interested. I can't be bothered watching. Why would I want to go out and watch 2 people beat the crap out of each other for a little bit? Like I just like, there's no point. And he's like, no. He's like, just come out for 1. If you don't like it, then don't come again. So I thought, okay, why not? I'll go out for 1. And we'll see how we go. And pretty much from there, I caught the MMA bug. I caught it. I've only missed 1 pay-per-view event since then. I go just to a local pub. I don't worry about buying the $60 pay-per-view. It's expensive unless you get a group of 5 or 6 of you. You put it in and you split it. But since then, haven't missed it. So yeah, I love doing it. So I love watching it. Sorry, not doing it. And I'll do the preview and the review. I'm obviously not an MMA expert, but I give my 2 cents worth of what I think is going to win, and a few people tune in, and a lot of people don't. So there you go. But yeah, Paul Erickson says here, dumb question: are these watch-alongs replayable on working Sunday? Yeah, they are. So you can watch these on YouTube after if you want to watch the game and watch it at the same time. But more often than not, I don't expect too many people to go back and watch this post the game, just because it's like probably not much point, just me talking. But yeah, if you want to hear me dribble on for a few hours, then you can play in the background. But yeah, just sort of scroll up there, just to get the better scores up the top. What do you got here? Moonboy, yeah, sorry, my Dunks comment, huge quarter. Yeah, he had a big quarter, that one. Would have been better if he was on 53 like he was before they took tackle away. Moonboy, Wilmot only 60% game time, could have gone bigger. Well, I'm actually glad he hasn't gone bigger, mate, because I'd be very I'm not even that happy anyways on 35, because he's only 5 points away from Cowan. But if he only gets 20 points in the second half, then that turns out to not be a huge issue. It's only like I was thinking before, I was like, if he gets 60 or less, I'll be fine. But if he goes 65, 70 or more, I'll be a little bit like, I probably should have just played Wilmot, and it'll be a little bit annoying. But yeah, I don't know if anything's happening to the stream. It's a 0 at the moment. I don't know if anything's happened. I hope nothing's happened to the stream. I hope you guys can. I'll just check on my phone if people can still see it. Or maybe people have had enough of Bales and they don't want to watch him anymore. Let's have a look. Oh, no, it's still going. Okay, no, it was just a bug on the thing. It still says people watching. So, but someone subscribed. Appreciate whoever subscribed there. Remember, you actually commented on a video. Well, let's go through your comment. What did you say? Bales, I can keep Josh Kelly and use him to get Holland score. Problem is, I don't know what to do with my trade now. Defense is still very weak. I can trade Sheed today, Zeeble or Chandler, or Philippou or Davey to Chandler. Not enough money to get Green or Long to Chandler. That's a tough one. Moonboy, I would have probably done what I did. I would have gone Kelly down. If you already had Tom Green, then that's fine. But even a Setterfield, I would have done that, and then I would have used that money to go Noah Long personally up to Chandler. If you could have done that, I don't know. Moonboy, let me know what your trade did. But yeah, that's what I would look at doing there. I'll just comment on it as well. Just so look that I would go Billy to Green, Setterfield, you, and then Long up to Chandler. There you go. Apologies, Moonboy, for not actually responding to it when I should have, but apologies. I must have just missed it. So sorry for that. But appreciate you still tuning in here anyway. All right. So what do we got here? Got a few more comments. Moonboy, someone on Big Footy said Gorn's knee went inwards and is likely a medial strain, can be a 4 to 8 week injury. Yeah, that's what I was saying before. If it's an MCL or something like that, normally around that 6 to 8. It's normally longer of the 6 to 8 weeks, from what I've seen. I'm not a medical professional, so I've got no idea. But normally that's what happens in MCLs. So yeah, if he's out for 4 to 6 weeks or 6 to 8 weeks or whatever, it could be one. I wouldn't jump on Grundy, I don't think, then, because I don't think you're going to get enough out of it. The only time I'd jump on Grundy is if your Gorn was announced he was out for the season. But we don't want Gorn out for the season. I don't think we want players getting injured. But if that situation did arise, then that would be something there. Paul says, I live overseas and will watch the games later. So if I can listen to you and Stato, etc. Oh, good stuff. I wonder whereabouts you live, mate. It'd be interesting to see whereabouts in the world you reside. So let us know, Paul, where you're from. Moonboy, and if you don't want, if you want to keep privacy, then that's completely up to you. That's completely fine as well. Moonboy, I held Kelly, traded Sherry to English and She to Chandler. Is Chandler on field for you, Moonboy? Did you end up going him? Okay, here, taking 230k next week, was rolling 6 deep in the midfield with Green, Bont, LDU, Kelly, Warple, and Sheed. So it made sense to go back to 3 rookies in mid with Holland's good score. Yeah, actually, no, yeah, that's good. That's a good call. I don't mind that call. I still probably would have kept Sheed and kept Hollands on the bench and done the Kelly down, because you're running so deep in the midfield. You were able to get rid of Kelly because you've got other players there. But you get Kelly next week at this stage, and it should be good. So I think it's fine. And I like those trades as well. So because you're getting Tim English, who's going to be the number 1 or number 2 ruck for the year, and then you're getting Chandler, who was the must-have rookie of the week. So I think it's fine as well. Brett says, I traded in Chandler last week and have Kelly. I'm going Kelly to Green, but undecided if I should just do a rookie swap, Fergus Green to Euland or Sheed to Warple. I don't know if I'd do. A few people have asked about Fergus Green to Warple, Fergus Green to Bodie. I don't know if I'd do it, just because I don't know if Bodie's going to be there for much more than the next week or two, because I could just see him getting dropped after a poor game. Whereas Fergus Green will definitely play. I think the only way it was a good idea to get rid of a Fergus Green is if you went to a Pedler, or if you went to a more likely than not Chandler, because they're going to make a lot of cash, especially Chandler, because he could make 120k, 150k in 2 weeks, 3 weeks time. And probably not 150k in 2 weeks, but more 3 weeks. But he could go up there, and Fergus Green may have only made 20k. You can always go back down to him if he has a good game. Like it's fine. Or you can drop another rookie. But yeah, Sheed to Warple. If that gets you like a Long or someone if that got you up to a Long or a Chan, I could have ticked that off. Long up to a Chan, I would have ticked that off. But I think Sheed's going to respond. I don't see him being just a 70 guy or an 80 guy. I see him being that 85, 90, maybe 95 potentially guy. He looked better in the second half last week. He lifted, got a lot more of the ball. So I expect him to start doing better. And I think he could have a decent score this week. So that's why I'm not even a huge fan of going Green. So Sheed up to Green, because she could just as easily outscore Tom Green this week. That's why the Josh Kelly to Tom Green was sort of almost a blessing for people that didn't start with Green, because they could just go Kelly to Green. So, But if you had to decide, you probably go Sheed to Warple. Because I wouldn't do Fergus Green to Euland. It's probably just a bit of a wasted trade. Moonboy, thanks, Bales. Wasn't an easy decision, but I get English and Chandler. Kelly down to 3% ownership, and I think he's a top 8 mid with that role. 100% agree. I think Josh Kelly's top 8 midfielder when he's in the role. We saw he was 68% CBAs from 68% time grounds. That would have been in the 80% CBA role. Great role. And yeah, I would have loved to have held on to him as well, but I just don't think I can. I can still update trades. I can get rid of Powell instead of Fergus Green, and I can keep Kelly and I can go Dom Sheed up to Tom Green. But I think that I want the points this week, especially with the Cowan 40 on field. Ross Law says, what percentage has gone? Can't find on Supercoach. So I can have a look for you on. So fantasy was about 10%. I think we had a look before. And yeah, Max Gawn was sitting at 10.6%. So again, it's a decent chunk of coaches that started with him. I appreciate it. Thanks, Brett. Brett just subscribed to the channel. So thanks, Brett. You'd put a comment in and you subscribe, mate. Appreciate it. If anyone else hadn't subscribed, then should be bottom right-hand corner and yeah, 2 clicks and you're done. And it helps out. Even if you don't come back and watch another video, it does help out, because once you get to 1,000, it's great. Ross Laws, appreciate it, mate. Thanks for subscribing to the channel as well. So 2 subscribers in the last couple of minutes. So appreciate the support there. I'll have a look on Supercoach for you, Ross, as well. And it's not just because I turned the fan down. I don't know why it's on again. That's okay. Melbourne, let's have a look. Max Gawn. Over down the bottom because he's low score. So he's gone on 0 Supercoach points. So Gawn selected by 11% of teams. Ross, 18,000 to around 84 people selected him. So again, it's a decent chunk. Like it's not like it's only 2-3% like a Kelly last week was only 6%. So it's a tenth of the competition in both Supercoach and Fantasy where they've that are going to be affected by this. And he's not only going to lose a lot. Supercoach is lucky because it's not lucky because you still got the injured 0. So it's not lucky, but you're not going to have a price decrease this week. Fantasy, there will be a pretty significant drop because he had a break-in of 108, whereas he only scored 4. So he's going to go down a lot, unfortunately. NJ the Best 13 says, thoughts on getting Grundy next week if Marshall underperforms again? Yeah, someone before was saying that could be an option. It could be a play. Again, we've got to see how Grundy goes in the second half and whatever. And we've got to first, I think if Gawn is only out for 6 to 8 weeks, I don't know if we're going to be keen on it. Danaher, is that a goal? Is that a goal? I think Charlie Cameron just kicked a goal where he's kicked. It's like almost like a soccer, like a volley, where the guy's someone socked it and he's volleyed it. I reckon. I'll have to see it in the replay. I reckon he's kicked it. It'll be reviewed, I'm sure, but that would look like a very good goal there. But yeah, so NJ, we were talking about that before. And yeah, I think if Grundy's out for the season, it's definitely a play. But if Gawn's only out for 4 to 8 weeks, I just don't know if it's worth it because you're probably going to have a Darcy or a Witts there with Marshall, and yeah. I don't know if I'd do it, but it is a good discussion point. We'll just have to see what happens with Gawn and his injury. Moonboy, expecting Sheed to go well from here, even though I traded him, will be better for the run after re-off. 100%. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I think that Sheed will only get better each game he plays, and he struggled the first half last week, but then he got unlucky as well. There are a few tackles where he held on a little bit too long. He had a few kicks where the free kick was paid. Just before he got a kick. So it could have easily been a 90 to 100 and people probably wouldn't be complaining as much. But because he got a 79 against North Melbourne, people are a little bit concerned. They're like, oh, is he only going to be this 80 guy? I just think he'll do better. So that was the other reason I'm happy to keep him. So McKenna just took a mark there as well. So Channel 7 having issues with their score update. So yeah, so it was a goal, I think. So yeah, so it's all good with that. Good, saw 7 people watching now, which is good. So had a few people jump on. Appreciate whoever's just jumped on for the watch along as well. Always good to have extra people jumping on. But yeah, what do we got here? So we've got Brett says, I literally was hoping for a rookie to be out as I have no idea what to do with trade 2. I may not even use the trade. I do need the points as ranked 36K. I was on the Hat Chat Twitter space on Wednesday night, and we had this discussion. DC and MJ from Coaches Panel were saying, this is Zach Bailey goal. Yeah, another goal, 64-32. So Brisbane again get out to the biggest lead of the game, 34 points. So they look like they're on track. 2 early goals in the quarter. They've started well. Melbourne needed the first goal of the second half to really put pressure on Brisbane again. But Brett, if you're happy with every player in your team, you don't have to use the trade. You've got 2 trades available to use per week, but there's no rule that says you have to use the trades. I think if I looked at your team, I may be able to come up with one trade that I could suggest. Like if you had nothing to do, there could be just a premium that you just want a premium swap, and that's fine if you've got nothing else to do. But obviously, you've got to make sure you got your rookies, which I'm sure you do from what it sounds like. Make sure all the mid prices are fine. Jump on your Greens, jump on your Setterfields, jump on your Warples, jump on your Days. These guys, jump on all those because they're going to make you cash. Even if they don't score well this week, they had a good score last week, so they're going to make money. And all their roles look good as well. So that's obviously the important thing. And then you can look at your premium swapping. They're probably the 3 orders. But yeah, hopefully you can find something, Brett. But if you don't have to use a trade. I think MJ from Coach Panel said he's not using trades this week. I think he said he's happy with his team. So that's fine. You don't have to use trades. Paul says, I'm in Bahrain. Despite your response to the Spaces question, I've stuck to my guns and traded Kelly to Rioli and Hunt to Chandler. Oh, okay. That was your question, Paul. It was a tough one, but it's fine. Rioli, not a bad pot. I just think with Jaden Short back there, is he going to be consistent enough? That's the question. But he's looked good. He looked good last week, and I think there is enough points there that he can score well. And then Hunter Chandler obviously is good as well. Hunt obviously only 44 last week, not making any money, which is what you got him for. And Chandler's he's done okay. He's obviously only on 32, but Melbourne have struggled since the opening sort of first half of the first quarter, so it's fine. And then had Hunt at my D3 and was worried about my defense. Yeah, that's the thing as well, is that I'm probably glad that you probably did go Rio, because I can't see your team. So the fact that you had a Jaden Hunt at your D3, which a few people went really cheap in defense. I know Tim went cheap in defense just because there's no value. So when you had Jaden Hunt at D3, I would have then sort of said, if you can just get up to someone half decent in defense, do that. So yeah, good moves. I like them. Moonboy, I traded Hewitt last year and regretted it. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like the mid prices sometimes have like an average first week, but then they can go on a good run. So you more got to look for. Oh, Ashcroft hit the post on the boundary. That would have been some goal. He's looking good since quarter time. He's looking really good. But yeah, like mid prices, you look for rolls. You don't look for like if their scoring's down but their rolls there, you shouldn't react to 1 week. So like for example, Sheed is a good example where he's a mid price guy that people jumped on because he's done the past. He had a whole year out and his value, and because he had a poor week last week, people have jumped off, but the role was there. He had the most CBAs for West Coast. And yeah, I think he'll come good. And it could be this week against the Giants. The only thing I probably would have ticked off with trading him is if you went him to a Tom Green, because Tom Green looks like he's got the ability to potentially be a season-long keeper. So that could be a situation where you do go sheet up to him. But yeah, it's each to their own. Like if you want to trade him out, it's fine. This is a training game, and everyone's going to have different opinions. So that's what's great about it. That's what makes teams so good, because they're so different. Moonboy, smash up the likes, legend. Appreciate it, Moonboy. Yeah, if you haven't liked the video, make sure you click like. Chandler here with a +6. He's looked good when he's had the ball. So I'd be pretty confident that the way he's played in his 2 games, that he'd be able to keep his spot for at least another couple. I think he's held his spot at least 1 more week after this, because worst case scenario, I think he gets dropped when Cozzy Piggott comes back. But Melbourne have had a few players that haven't come to the party tonight. Even though they lost Gawn, they're still down at the moment by over 5 goals. So Chandler's been one of their better players. So he could still help hold his spot. He's been good. So he just hasn't had a lot of service. Moonboy, look at your buys too. Might be able to adjust. Always something you can do, I guess. Yeah, that's right. You look at your buy. Like you can have a quick look at your buys. I have not had a look at my buys once yet. I don't look at buys until maybe a month out. Like I may have a look at him over the next couple of days, just sort of make sure that I'm not sort of got 20 players in one buy, because then I'll have to start maybe doing trades from now almost, or in a few weeks where you got to start bringing in players that aren't on that buy. But yeah, I think I'm okay from memory. Well, not from memory, just from what I would imagine. But well, a good run from Brisbane through the middle. McKenna, Zorko, goal. Brilliant work from Brisbane. That was very nice. Connor McKenna was heavily involved with that, had a few disposals. Zorko running through. That's Brisbane at their best, when they're handball chains through the middle of the Gabba and they're slicing through opponents, and then you've got your Zorkos, you've got your Zach Baileys, your Lincoln McCarthy's kicking goals from 50 out on the run. That's when you know Brisbane are up and about. So they're up by 39 points now. It's getting to a point where like 14 and a half minutes left in the third. If Melbourne can't kick the next goal or two, it's almost going to be game over for Melbourne. But I'm not counting them out yet. Still plenty of time to come back in the game, but they need the next couple of goals. But yeah, let's have a quick look at the scores. So got Dane Zorko top scoring with that goal just then with 76. Clayton Oliver 68, so ticking along nicely. Same with Lockie Neal with 64. Lockie Neal 62. Sorry, Lockie Hunter 62, sorry. Jared Berry 59. Andrews and Dunkley 57. So Dunkley's doing okay. He's doing his thing at the moment. Petrarca 56. Lever 56. McInerney 50. Grundy 49. So again, Grundy's had a good sort of quarter and a bit since the first quarter when Gawn went down. Ashcroft, another handball there. What else have we got here? Ashcroft's on 46 now with that handball. McKenna 42. Gus Brayshaw 36. So he's a couple of disposals in this quarter. Cade Chandler 38. And then I have to go onto the other screen to scroll down a little bit. So Wilmot hasn't touched it in this quarter, 35. So owners of him on the field will be hoping he can get a little bit involved in this quarter, get to maybe a 50 by 3/4 time and look on track for a good score. McKenna 42. He's already scored 13 points this quarter. So Will Ashcroft with a tackle and a handball. Dunkley with a handball. So yeah, Dunkley and Ashcroft are getting involved. It's just showing when Brisbane are going to win better, that these players are going to score well. So, so Wilmot 35 there. I said that already. Zach Bailey 34. McCluggage only 31. So he's the only guy that hasn't really got involved. A few people had him. You might have to move on him next week if you've got him in your side. And then for Melbourne, the only one, Judd McVee's on 16 now. So he's up a little bit more than what he was. But yeah, most players are scoring well unless you have McCluggage. Then you'd be a little bit disappointed. So there you go. So Dunkley's up to 59, Ashcroft up to 52. Ashcroft, no, that's Neil, get a free kick there as well in the back. So yeah, it's looking okay at the moment for most people. So yeah, I don't think he'll be coming on, unfortunately. The guy's going to try and get on. But we'll see. Still got a crawl in a bit if he wants to jump on. Actually, I want to see him because I've got a tipping league. I'm actually intrigued to see. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm not going to check it because if I do check it, they'll probably lose. I was going to see if how many people in my league went Brisbane, but I'll wait till the game finishes to make sure Brisbane win, and then I can look at who tipped Brisbane and who didn't. So, not behind there. Oh no, out in the full. Zach Bailey there. So. But okay, actually, I haven't done this yet. I've sort of been just chatting because we've had a fair bit in the chat that's been going here. So let's go through. We had a fair few questions come through on the Twitter space that I didn't get to. All right. All right, here we go. So let's get into these questions on Fantasy Fanatics. So all the ones I didn't answer, there was a fair few because there's just so many people. So it's always getting a point on the Twitter space where we'll have to just scroll through the best questions because there's so many. So let's go through some here. All right. So Aidan McGuinness on Twitter. So these questions are on Twitter. So if you've got questions and you're watching in the live chat, then put them in and I'll answer them here as well. But we'll go through some of the Twitter ones while the game's going on in the background. So the first one comes from Aidan McGuinness, and he says, started Heaney, but shouldn't have Heaney to Green and then Bytel to Chandler, holding Jelly okay. Yeah, I like those trades. I think you could, because Heaney could put up a stinker. Like we know what Heaney's done in the past and more midfield time and all this stuff. So I'd be happy to get rid of Heaney and hold Kelly, especially if you've got Hollands. If you had a Hollands, for example, and you hold and you go Bytel to Chandler and then Heaney to Green, tick them off. I like them. So Josh Morris has said, who would you bring in between Lloyd, Dacos, and Young? I wouldn't. So it says most people are bullish on the latter two, but Lloyd has history and his possessions were all over the ground. A good sign to me. Keen to get your thoughts. And as the footy's just completely gone from Fox Sports and KO, so we'll get through these questions anyway. Keen to get your thoughts on this. Thanks, legends. I wouldn't go Lloyd. I know that his scoring and history says he's been good, but Sydney have changed their style in the last few years. Nick Blakey is back there now as well. They like young Braden Campbell. They want to get the ball in his hands as well. So for me, I wouldn't be going Lloyd. So it's Dacos or Young. So Tim was Dacos. I was Hayden Young. And the reason I went Hayden Young is because I know Freo aren't going to play like they did last week every week, but they do like chipping the ball around, and Young has got a solid floor, right? Young will never be tagged. And Nick Dacos is going to be the guy that's going to get tagged. Where's Chandler? Getting a kick here as well. Yep. He won't be tagged. And Dacos will get tagged. He's got Port Adelaide this week. I think Willem Drew goes to him. I know Kenning has been a bit coy with if they're going to send anyone to Dacos, but you'd be stupid not to send someone to Dacos because of how good of a player he is. Wow. Rona just slammed bloody Sparrow. Intercept marked by Jack Payne there as well. But yeah, so I would be going Hayden Young there. And if you want to go Dacos as well, if you like Dacos more, then Dacos. But one of those two for me, not Lloyd for me. If it was a few years ago, would have said Lloyd, but not now. What have we got? So Mitch from Bull Boys. Apologies, Mitch, we didn't get to your question during the space. We didn't get to a lot of questions. I think Luke asked me the same question. I think Green Darcy combo has the highest upside, but probably almost at risk. Depends how aggressive you are. Oh, that's right. Yeah, it was the Green and Darcy and Setterfield and English combo. So I actually put a poll on Twitter, and I said and it'd be interesting to see what you guys would say for this combo. Would you guys be going Tom Green and Sean Darcy, or Will Setterfield and Tim English? So you're locking in a top two ruck and getting an underpriced mid, or are you getting the better underpriced mid and a solid enough R2? I'm actually going to put, I don't think I can do it from here, but if I log on to YouTube on my laptop here, I might be able to put a poll in, because that'd be a good one to put a poll in and see what you guys think. Let's have a look. Let's go to I know how we're just going to go to Watchalong. It might come through, so apologies if I just mute site. There we go. Just loading. So I'm seeing if I can put the all that high tack on Sparrow. Start poll. Beautiful. Here we go. So poll. Perfect. I can add it. So which combo would choose? Tom Green and Sean Darcy, or Will Setterfield and Tim English? There you go. I've just put that poll in the live chat, guys. So if you want to go and vote on that, be very interesting to see. Obviously, there's not a huge amount of people watching the live stream, so there's probably not going to be a huge amount of votes, but just interested to see who the people tuning in now, who they'd go for. So, will Ashcroft going to get it again here? No, he got another disposal again. So Ashcroft doing well. So Now, can I see the poll on the live chat here, or do I have to go onto? No, I've got to go on the YouTube. That's okay. So yeah, Paul Heaney v Hawks. Yeah, it's a good call. Heaney v Hawks could be good. Could get a lot of opportunity in the forward line. I just don't. Heaney's just a fantasy player that just is frustrating. He just doesn't do what you want him to. So I don't know if I'd hold him, and especially with the trades being like solid ones, being where you're getting Tom Green and then you're getting the must-have rookie in Chandler. I would have done those personally. If there was someone else besides Heaney, you probably could have got rid of him, but I don't mind getting rid of Heaney to get in Chandler and Tom Green. So keep going through here. Like that. Chris White on Twitter says, Jelly and Fergus Green to Setterfield and Callahan. Already have Tom Green, LD and Warple mid-price mayhem. All the mids, though, making money and they're looking good. So I think you can. I think Jelly to Green and Setterfield to Callahan is... Oh, hang on. Jelly and Green to Setterfield and Callahan. I like it. I like it. You're getting the guys that are making money and they look like they're going to score solid as well. So I don't see that as a big issue. Are you getting all those? Because they all look good. They're making money. And they've got good roles. So, yeah, why not? Callahan could be the one you might not get, maybe miss, but is that Zorko? Or was that McKenna? Might have been McKenna. So John said, May, a late out could be good for Gus again. However, Gus on a wing and Hunter is at halfback, huge flag. Yeah, I think that was how they were named, but I wouldn't be concerned that their name there. We saw like what was it? Errol Goulden's none on the bench or whatever. And actually, no, sorry, not Errol Goulden because that doesn't matter if they're on the bench. No, but like Dacos named a full pocket and whatever. So people get named everywhere. So it doesn't matter where they get named as long as where they start and where they play the game. Yeah, it was Zorka that got that +6 as well. So Robert Cochrane from Twitter says Long and Green to Chandler and Bodie. I like the Long to Chandler move. I'm not a huge fan of Green to Bodie Euland. A few people have asked that, but I don't know if I'd do it unless you had nothing to do because I just don't see Bodie's job security being good after a week or two. So I personally wouldn't have done that. But if he did, it's not a bad move because Bodie's going to make more cash than what Fergus Green is. It's just I think I'd much rather keep Fergus Green because he's got good job security compared to Bodie who doesn't. So, Harry Petty now looks like he saw as well. So Melbourne going, a few players going down at the moment. DWH, thoughts on Wardlaw? Again, he's not named, but he's a good option to keep an eye on for North. If he has a good game in the VFL this week, he's playing his first game for them in the VFL. I would imagine he'll probably have at least 2 weeks in the VFL to see how he goes. But if he has a good week in the VFL and he gets named, he's certainly a guy that we can look at. Hopefully he doesn't get named for 3-4 weeks because then we can allow our cash cows to get some money on top of their head, and then we can then cull them in a few weeks' time and go down to a Wardlaw. That would be something to be good. So Petrola's been on the bench for 8.5 minutes, just hasn't been able to get on. Been stuck on the other side of the ground. But yeah, Wardlaw, definitely one to keep on your watch list. He'll get a game at some point. So yeah, definitely one to watch. Josh on Twitter says, Taranto or Oliver more of a priority? And Oliver's been stuck on the bench. So if you're looking at Petrarca's not happy, shaking his head, can't get on. In terms of, Taranto, Oliver, Taranto definitely is a bigger priority. Being that forward guy, he's at 8. What was he priced at now? I'll just have a quick look at what he's priced at on Fantasy. So Taranto is priced at 865, and I should have got his break even as well while I was there. His break even is 88. So it's a low break even. He'll make money, and he's not going to be this cheap. Probably, I don't know if he'll be this cheap again this season. So you've got to jump on Taranto. Oliver's going to stay around the same price, and I made the mistake last year of jumping on Bailey Smith when he was at not 940k. I jumped on Taranto at 939, funny enough. But again, he was a forward playing for midfield deep Giants, and he was playing forward a lot. I went that to be something different. It was a bad call. But he went 120 2 times out of the first 5, and he went 100 in the other 3 weeks. So 5 weeks in a row over 100. So it wasn't a bad call, but it just didn't work out. But yeah, Taranto for me. Oliver will be great, and he'll be solid for the whole year. But Taranto you got to get. Taranto is the must-have out of those two there. Bailey McNeil on Twitter says, is she to Warple worth it to get in Chandler for any of my rooks? Again, I don't think getting rid of Sheed is a fantastic call. But if that's the only way that you can get up, you could have got up to Chandler. I know that this question obviously is a bit null and void because you would have already done the moves. But if that was the only way you could have gotten to him, I would have done it. Just because Chandler, I think, was just one of the must-have rookies. Needed 27 break even. What's he on now? He's on 47. If he ends on a 60, he's still outscored his break even by 87 points. He's going to go up a 40, 50K. He's going to go up a decent amount. So that's why I would have done that. But I would have preferred to keep Sheed and get Warple another way if you could have. Frankie V said, Sydney's M. Roberts named as sub, but gather he is definitely out. I would like to put him in mid, but Holland Sanderson on the ground. Yeah, so Matt Roberts is named in the emergencies, but there's a very good chance he's a sub. Looked good as a sub last week. Sheldrick could be the other guy that's a sub for Sydney, but I wouldn't be risking Matt Roberts as the guy you're going to loop to get Holland on field. So I wouldn't. I'd try and whatever you've got there, like try and get something else, I think. Or you can wait. If you've got options to wait, like if you're looking at Callahan potentially as an option, you could wait to Sunday and see if he plays. But yeah. What's Andrews done? Andrews looks like he's copped something. Did he cop a knock or something? Maybe a corky in the quad? I'm not sure. Joel Willingale said, do we hold Phillips? See, this is a tough one. This would have been a good one to get on the Twitter space. So this is what I mean probably like in the future we'll have to scan through questions because this is a good one. I don't know because he's probably going to be the sub this week. But if he's not, he's a good loop, like to loophole. If you can go him to if you went him to a Chandler, I would have definitely ticked it off. If you can go Will Phillips to a better rookie, you can because you can always bring Phillips back in if he looks like he's going to be best 22 and score. But at the moment, it doesn't look like he's going to be a guy that is going to hold his spot consistently. And when Wardlaw comes back as well, that's another guy you got to add. So I probably would have traded Phillips, but it's probably dependent on how your teams look. If you've got other bullets, you probably don't. But then again, it's like, who would you rather trade? Would you rather trade Kelly? If you had Hollands on your bench, would you rather keep Kelly and trade Phillips? I would. In that situation, I would. But it's, again, a little bit team dependent, I think. But yeah, I would have Neil Bullen, goal. So Melbourne get one back. There, it's back up to, was it 26 points? So still in it. They keep the 2 in a row now. So it's back to just over 4 goals. So we'll see if Melbourne can get back in the game. I hope not because I tip Brisbane. But if they do, then I'm not going to sit here and throw the baby out with the bathwater, as the saying goes. What else we got? Ben said Petrarca VC over Dunkley as a pod. Yeah, I don't mind. I wouldn't have minded it. Obviously, now with Petrarca on 60, Dunkley 63, so about the same. But if I would have answered this question before, I would have said I don't mind the idea. I probably wouldn't have. I still would have backed Dunkley to respond, and he's looking okay. Probably wants a little bit more points in the last 3.5 minutes for the quarter. It's been a low-scoring quarter for the guys that were at the top. You've only got Zorko, Harris Andrews, Clayton Oliver at the moment that are on track for hundreds. Obviously, the way it works, you want 25 points a quarter time, 50 at halftime, 75 at three-quarter time, and then 100 at three-quarter time. So no, only 3 people on track for it, but obviously 3.5 minutes, a few guys could get a few +6s, and then all of a sudden you're fine. And it looks like Fox Sports again has dropped out. Yep, temporary lost it. They've been poor with that so far this season. There's been a few games where they've dropped out, laggy on KO, so a bit disappointing so far with Fox Sports and KO. Nuffy said Cogs and Chandler versus Warple and Setterfield. Oh, that's another good one. That would, again, I'm liking these questions because they would have been good in the Twitter space. But Cogs and Chandler for me, I think, is the play. I think you go the big gun and then you go the must-have rookie. I think Warple and Setterfield will be great and they're going to score well. But you can always get one of those or both those next week. I think it's better to get that. I think it would have been better to get that rookie in Chandler and Cornelio, who is going to be looks like he's going to be a top 6 forward, and he should be. So, yeah, I would have gone Cogs and Chandler. But it is a very good question. It's a lot of people probably would go Warple and Setterfield because you're getting 2 good scorers. So, but again, you'd be pretty happy at the moment with a 47 from Chandler with a whole quarter to go when Melbourne have been beaten so far for the first 3 quarters. You'd be pretty happy with that so far. We got one here. So Moonboy says Darcy plays North and West Coast, could be on a huge average by the end of round 3. Yes, that's again why I liked the Green and Darcy combo. Let's have a look at the poll so far. How many votes have we got? Yes, so all the 5 votes. Yeah, everyone's gone Tom Green and Sean Darcy. I think it's a bit closer than everyone going the one option, but I think for me, I like the Darcy option more because he should score well in the next couple of weeks, and Tom Green looks great, so that's why I would have gone that. So, but yeah, it's tough. It was a tough combo. David on Twitter says, is it smarter to go Kelly and a rookie to 2 mid-prices, Day and Warple, or go Kelly and a rookie to big dog Sicily and Pedler? Again, very similar situation to the last question we just answered. So this one's a bit more interesting because it's Sicily and Pedler, but then you've got Will Day and James Warple. I think if you asked me on any other week, I would have gone Day and Warple. But I think I'm going to go. I still think I'm going to go Sicily and Pedler, and that's just because Day and Warple both play Sydney at the SCG this week, and Brisbane just kicked the goal from McCarthy there, so it's back at the 32 points. I just worry that Day and Warple may not be as good as what they were last week. Like they're going to be good options for the end, going to make money, but with the SCG Sydney matchup, it could be a tough week. So yeah. Yeah, but whatever way you go, I think they're both good options. Anita Rocker has said, if Kelly was the only way for me to get Green, would you trade Kelly or hold and take 77 from Mons and lose bringing in Tom Green? And again, this is a similar boat to what I was in. I could have held Kelly and missed out on Tom Green and got the 77, or I could have gone Dom Sheed up to Tom Green. But I've decided to trade Josh Kelly because, one, he'll be a big target for me to bring back in a few weeks when I look to upgrade one of those mid-prices to someone because Kelly looked great. He'll drop a little bit in price, I think. His break-even, I think, is 119, so he's not going to stay up at that high price. So for me, I would still trade and there. But it's very team-dependent. If you had a cherry and you need to fix up and you need the cash from Kelly down to Tom Green, definitely do it. But it depends on what your team's looking like, I think. Reese says, have Kelly and Cherry. Have Kelly and Cherry. Should I go Kelly to Green and Cherry to Lysette or Goldie, or go Kelly to Setterfield and Cherry to Sean Darcy? I think it's Setterfield and Darcy. I'm not as against the Goldie option than what everyone else is because Goldie's going to be the solo ruck. Cherry's going to be out for a little bit, and he could be a good money maker for the next few weeks to get you up. But I still think I'd rather Setterfield and Darcy, just because I'd rather Darcy as the better ruck, while Angus Brayshaw and Jack Lever have been an argument there. As Brisbane kicked another goal, 38 points. So it's literally, it was back to 26, and Melbourne, if they got another one, back to 20, but now it's back out to over 6 goals. So it's looking hard for Melbourne from here, but you never know. Anything can happen. But yeah, I'd still go. I think I'd go Setterfield and Darcy. Hopefully, Reece, you can jump on Green next week, hopefully. Cocker No Shoe has said, if there's lots taking Holland's score, would a double rookie downgrade be a play? It could be. If you're taking Holland's, you can definitely go grab 2 rookies, but it just depends what rookies you missed. If you missed a Sheasel and a Chandler, definitely go those 2. If it was a Bodie, I don't know if I'd still be going to Roos unless that was the only thing you can really think of doing. But a rookie downgrade it's not a terrible option the first week because you're hoping that you didn't cop any bullets and you're only shuffling rookies to better rookies. So, but yeah, it's an interesting point. But yeah, I would have. It depends. It depends. People's Champion said, is it worth trading out Bodie or Davey to get Chandler in? People are probably going to say you don't trade out Bodie. I could see you trading Bodie to Chandler to get the cash. So if you did do that, I don't think that was the most awful move. I wouldn't have done Davey to Chandler because I think Dave's going to make good money and he's got good job security. But if you went Bodie to Chandler, that's not the worst. But I'm pretty sure it's like you would have had a Noah Long or a Fergus Green or someone like that you would have probably got rid of over Chandler. So I would have done that first. And then again, Bodie's got -4 break even, but I just don't know if he plays much more than a week or 2. So yeah. See, Brayshaw's now coming off, I think, for a blood roll. Petty's still looking really ginger there, so he could be down to this. And May's not in the team. Salem's out. So Melbourne get May. So Melbourne get Salem back in the VFL, Viney and Fritsch this week, but they've been injured again. They've got Gawn, obviously looks like he'll be out for at least a month, if not a couple months, if not the season, depending on how bad the knee injury is. Petty, I don't know what's he doing, but he's down. And so Cocker No Shoe has said Kelly and Cherry to Chandler and Sampson if Sampson has a decent job security. I don't know if I wouldn't be going. So if that was the situation you were looking at, mate, I wouldn't be doing Kelly and Cherry down to Chandler and Sampson Ryan. You get that will leave you with 600, 700K in the bank. You got to, with those two, you got to make an upgrade. If you go Kelly, I'd be going, a few people have done it, Kelly to Setterfield and Cherry up to a Darcy or something like that. That's what I would do. Or if you can go to English, that's great as well. If you can go Green and Darcy, that's the play. But if you can't get Green and if the only way to get Darcy is getting Setterfield, you do that. Just before I answer the next few questions, we still have a few here. There was a fair few questions through the live chat I didn't get through, but we'll go through the scores at half time. So you have, three-quarter time. Dane Zorko top score of 112. So that's a big score, first game back from him. Clayton Oliver on 90, again, on track for his 115 or 110 or so. Could go a bit more, but good score for him at three-quarter time. Harris Andrews on 77, but they're the only three players that are on track for 100. Obviously, other players get 100, but you got Lockie New on 73, Lockie Hunter on 68, Will Ashcroft 67. So Will Ashcroft's been good in the last two quarters. I think he was only on 10 points at quarter time, I think. So he's had a good 2 quarters, which is good to see. And I've got to remember he's a rookie. He's not going to get 100 every week. And I know he only got 59 last week, but yeah, he looked a lot better tonight. Grundy 62, Petrarca 66. So Grundy's looked okay from quarter time onwards. Josh Dunkley 63. So again, quiet quarter for Dunkley. So Dunkley had a quiet first and third quarter. And if you take away that, what was he on? 49. If you take away that 36-point second quarter, he's only had 36. He's only had 37 points in 2 quarters. So that is a little bit of a concern. But let's see how he goes in the last quarter. Big O on 60, Lever and Brown on 61, and Gus Brayshaw's on 56 now. So he saved his score a bit in that quarter. He got, I think, about 31 points in that quarter. Connor McKenna 55. That's obviously good good score for him there. Viney 54, Chandler 51. You take 51 from Chandler, especially when Melbourne have struggled from the first half of the first quarter onwards. That was when he was scoring. So when Melbourne are going to play well, he'll score well. So if you've got Chandler in your team and you expect him to win, he's probably a good option to play on field. And he's a good option to bring in regardless. And then we'll scroll down a bit more. So you've got Darcy Wilmot's on 42. So only a 7-point quarter for Darcy Wilmot there. So making me feel a little bit better. If he gets a 50, I'll be okay with having Cowan on field over because that won't only cost me 10 weeks. But if he goes and gets a 20-point quarter and gets a 62, that's still in play. And that could be maybe where I'm a bit like I'm not a fan of benching him over Cowan. Anyone else? Harms only 25 points. Wow, okay. I'm surprised they didn't use Harms to tag Neil, to be honest. They've done it in the past. It worked. So I don't know why they didn't do it. Judd McVie only 16. Zach Buddy only 36. He's probably got a lot of people got in draft. Daniel Rich 43. So people have maybe drafted as well. That's not a great score from him. McCluggage 46 as well. That's a quiet game. So a couple of quiet people, but not any relevant players. And then obviously Matt's gone with the injury on 4. So that was the big disappointment there. So beautiful. We've hit 10 people watching. Fantastic. Good. I was hoping to hit double figures. So I appreciate all 10 watching now. So appreciate we've had more people tune in as the thing's on. So the good thing is at least people have stuck around. So at least I might not be dribbling too much crap. But yeah, so we'll go back to the questions that are on the Twitter space if people missed it. There was a heap of me and Tim do a Twitter space on AFL Fantasy Fanatics. You might have heard of that podcast. We do a Twitter space every Friday before lockout and then Sunday after the final game. And there was a bunch of questions coming. We had over 200 people listening. So we had a lot of people. But yeah, so Blake from Blake's Bonkers asked, Sick Dog or Hayden Young, Sicily against Sydney? If you had the choice between the two, I would be going Sicily if you've got the money. But Hayden Young, not a bad option either. If you need the cash, if you've got a Tanner Brun, for example, and you need to upgrade them next week, I would go Hayden Young to save the cash. But for me, if it was just between the two, I'd go Sicily. He's going to be the guy that's more locked in for that top 6. Paul Erickson on YouTube said, Salem apparently has a knee issue, not playing VFL this week. Okay, that's interesting because he was named that he was probably going to play VFL. So if he hasn't been named, yeah, then there you go. So if he's not playing, then he wouldn't be a bad mid-price option in like a month's time if he comes back. And if he starts scoring well, we don't know. Jono says, English or Darcy and cash for more next week. If you've got the cash for English, you go English. It's a little bit different, but besides, I couldn't get my words out then, besides doing Sicily or Hayden Young. The rucks, you just try and get the best in there and you just forget about it. Set and forget, that's why we try and do it. So if you've got the money for English, that's where I'm not fussed about the cash. You just pay up. If you can get to it, you pay up for English. And he's a little bit unique from what he was at the start of the year as well. A few people were concerned with his scoring. So that's why I would do that. The Fantasy Pig says, Green, Long DPP will be more valuable given not much. Oh, that's right. So we're having the debate about do you get rid of Green or Long? I'm still Long. I know DPP could help, but I just think he'll get dropped more sooner than what Green will. Beaten Donkeys has said, which one? Dawson to Young for a cash grab to get Chandler, or Sheed down to Day, or just miss the boat on Chandler? If you had to, I would have done the Sheed to Day. I wouldn't have done Dawson to Young. That's just a waste because he's going to be a premium Dawson for you for the whole year. So I wouldn't have done that. That's where I would have said, okay, if that's the only way you can get to Chandler, I would have done Sheed down to Day. So if you did that, mate, that's not a bad move. So, yeah. What do we got here? Ronald Reed said, hold Kelly for Hollands and go Titch to Tom Green and Fergus Green to Chandler. Titch looks. If you can do that, I like those trades because you get Holland score for Josh Kelly. You're still able to go Tom Mitchell, who his role's he's not going to have that 105 plus average we thought he was going to get. So, yeah, I wouldn't be holding Tom Mitchell. I'd trade him. And getting Tom Green, who's looking really good, is a good move. And you've also got the money to get up to Chandler, but then you can also hold Josh Kelly. I think it's a win-win. I think that's great, Ronald. I'd definitely do those trades. I hope you did do those trades as well. M. Mosquito went Power to Setterfield or Hunt to Day. I think, yeah, we had the discussion on the Twitter space. I think was that Wilmot that got the kick there? I think it was. I think I would have gone. We had this session. I think I might have gone Powell and Setterfield just because I thought I would have backed in Hunt for one. Even though I think Hunt today is the better trade, I think that this week you'll get more points doing Setterfield and Hunt. So if you're wanting more points this week, you go Powell to Setterfield, I think. Daniel, you sent me your team on Twitter. So Laird to Zeeble and Laurie to Libber, or Laird to Cornelio and Laurie to Callahan. Yep, there you go. We had that discussion just then anyway. Tom Green will go huge versus Witches Hats. Yeah, I think Tom Green will have a big week this week. Here we go. So Ross Law says, hey, Bars, do you do Supercoach too? Yeah, I do. Yep. I didn't have an amazing week last week. The thing is, I didn't start Cowan on field. I think I started Wilmot over Cowan in that one. So I started Wilmot on field for both, except for fantasy where I went Cowan. Not too bad. I'm hoping for a better week this week. I'm still weighing up if I go Cunnington to Horn Francis, because Horn Francis is a lot better Supercoach option than he is fantasy because he gets more points because he's a more impact player. So I'm tempted to do that. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do in Supercoach yet. The good thing is I didn't have to lock in anything tonight or last night. So what have we got here? So BC says, so how's this? Hold Kelly, take Holland 77, trade Fergus to Chandler. I'm liking it so far. And then go Cherry to Ryan. Then next week have the cash to upgrade Heath to a boss ruck. Ryan becomes Arthur, and hopefully I get Kelly back. It's risky, but is it complete? It's not completely insane, as you've said, but I wouldn't do it. Because all you need is 2 force trades like we had, like a lot of coaches had last week with Kelly, Stewart, Cherry, Bytel, Whitfield. Where if you get 2, and some people got Gorn already this week. If you have 2 forced trades, you can't upgrade your ruck and you're screwed. So I wouldn't do it. It's not insane, but I definitely wouldn't do it. So BC, I'd be trying to get your ruck this week. Like you said, hold Kelly, take Hollands and go Fergus to Chandler. I would hold Chelly. I would hold Kelly and go and done the Fergus to Chandler, but then I'd try and get Cherry up to someone. If you could have even gone Kelly to Chandler for a week and then gone Cherry up to English and then have cash next week to upgrade your ruck, that isn't going to play because you still got to upgrade your midfield because you still got a ruck, so it's fine. So I would have done that if anything. OG Rennie 96 says McGrath got one more week for me to perform. If not, down to Will Day, then cash for Brunderhorn Francis. Yep, I like that. Yep, I think McGrath's gonna have a good 2 weeks. Gold Coast give up points to defenders, and they're good to score on. And then also we saw St Kilda round 1. They look like they'll be easy to score on for defenders as well. So I would be keeping McGrath unless you have to get rid of him to go and do another move. But I'd personally prefer to keep him as Joe Danaher kicks another goal. So Brisbane up by 44 points. So I think it's pretty much safe to say it's done now. 7 goals they need Melbourne in pretty much 16 and a half minutes. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to do it. So looking like at the moment, it was a good move for me to go from Melbourne to Brisbane, which means I'm 2 for 2 for the tipping for this week. I had a shocking round last week. I went 3 for 9. I got the draw because it was you get a point in the comp when it's a draw, you get the point. So I got the point for Carlton for the draw. I went Geelong over Collingwood. Thinking about it now, I should have gone Collingwood with the injuries Geelong had. Then Saturday was North Melbourne, West Coast. I went West Coast. I just thought they might have got the job done, but obviously North won. The Twilight, Port, Brisbane. I went Brisbane, obviously, and Port won that. Saturday night, Bulldogs and Melbourne. I went Bulldogs because I just thought Bulldogs were going to do better. Stephen May was out that game, but didn't matter. Melbourne played really well. Charlie Cameron setting up Danaher again. This could be a 50-point lead now coming up. So Brisbane have looked fantastic tonight. They've looked very, very good. So Ross Laws, got to go. Thanks, Bars. Love your work. Appreciate it, Ross, mate. If you want to tune in again tomorrow night, we'll be doing it tomorrow night again, another watch-along. It'll be late because I'll be going to the Crows Richmond game. So I'm hoping that I can get someone on tomorrow night to start the stream and I'll be able to jump on after and then we can chat. So I'll prefer to do it. But if not, if I can't get anyone on, it'll be either a late start to the stream or I won't do it. So just stay tuned to my socials if you don't follow me on Twitter and that. But yeah, appreciate you tuning in, Ross. And thanks for subscribing to the channel because I remember you did subscribe before. So yeah, Emma Scare says he can go Tom Powder, Setterfield, Zeeble, Horn Francis, or Hunt today. No, I think it's still Powder, Setterfield for me. But then again, Powell and Day could score more. It makes more sense to go Hunt today. I'm worried this week about Day's matchups. That's what would make me go to Setterfield. Because I'd rather Setterfield over Zeeble and Horn Francis. I think I'd do it in that order: Setterfield, Zeeble, and then Horn Francis. Damien said I went long out. Yeah, I would have gone long out of the two as well. And then Daniel, we answered your question as well on the stream. Clay Smith said, bring in Setterfield and Zeeble for Kelly and Beitel, or bring in Brayshaw and a rookie. So Setterfield and Zeeble for Kelly and Beitel, or bring in Brayshaw. I think in that case, if you've got Chandler, Sheasel, Jinby, if you've got all those rookies, I think it's Setterfield and Zeeble because you're getting two guys that Zeeble could average 90 from here and you could put him back in when he gets DPP in round 6. And Setterfield looked good, whereas Brayshaw will be great, but what rookie you bring in, that would determine what way I would go there. Lauren has said, only way to get Chandler is McGrath to Day and Fergus Green to Chandler, or fade Chandler and hold McGrath. I think in that situation, I think you can go McGrath down. If that's the only way, as you say, to get you could have got Chandler, I would have done it. So Lauren, I hope you did do those moves. Again, apologies that I can only get to the questions now. It doesn't help when we get so many questions, but I might have to be a little bit better now where I scan through the questions and only answer like not the more interesting ones, because everyone's question's interesting because it's always team dependent, but maybe I just go through questions a bit quicker or something. But yeah, thank you for the questions there. Jaden, Twitter, has said, have enough cash to go long to Chandler. Would you go Kelly to LD. Hang on, have enough cash to go long to Chandler. Yep, tick that. And would you go Kelly to LDU or Kelly to Setterfield for his cash rise and leaves 250K in the bank? Already have Tom Green. So this is a tough one. Do you go LDU? Oh, no, hang on. No, we had this. No, we've had this as well before. LDU or Setterfield? I think if you're looking for a season-long keeper, Jaden, you go for LDU. If you're looking for just make cash and get an option that's going to make money, I don't mind paying less for Setterfield because I almost would, because LDU is going to get tagged next week by Hawthorn, by McGuinness, and he's not going to have a good score. Whereas Setterfield could go back-to-back tons potentially against Gold Coast and St Kilda. So it's an interesting one. I think I'm still leaning Setterfield just for the cash. But as I said, if you're wanting a season-long keeper, you go for LDU. But if you're wanting a guy just to make money, then so Wilmot's going to get just a handball there. You could get it back here, actually, because he's still running. Or is it going to? No, it's going to go out. So what do we got here? And you already have Tom Green as well, James. So, yeah. Jack Cooksey says Salem won't be in next week. He's now done his knee. Yeah, unfortunately. So people are going to have to be doing without Salem for a bit. Best on-field rookie out of Chandler, Pooh, and Pedler. I would have gone Chandler out of the three just based on what I saw last week. And 51 at the moment, 13.5 minutes left isn't too bad. If you can get to a 60, you'd tick it off because there's nothing to say that Philippou and Pedler will get to 60. So, like, Pedler played well last week, and I really like him as a Crows fan myself. He looks like a good prospect, but he's not going to score 70 every week. I think he could be a guy that fluctuates between 40, like 35, 40 points and that 70, 75 range. So he'll be a little bit up and down like that. Oliver gets +6 there. And yeah, then Philippou, if you had a better matchup, I'd be considering, but Bulldogs' tough matchup, I would have preferred Chandler, even though Brisbane's tough matchup. Hunter, is that a goal? Yeah, so back to 40 points. I still think it's too much for Melbourne from here, but if they kick 2 goals in the next 3 minutes, making it a 5-goal game with 10 minutes to go, it's not impossible, but I still... Hang on. Apologies that. Just had a couple of sneezes there. Apologies. But then again, you can't help when you got to sneeze. And I think that's it. Yep, that's all the questions. So, yeah, that actually took me almost half a quarter to get through the rest of the questions. I did it towards the back end of the other quarter as well. So, again, appreciate everyone that did tune in. I'm still going live here. I'm not tuning off. But the people that tuned into the Twitter space on Twitter, appreciate all the support there. If you haven't followed AFL Fantasy Fanatics on Twitter, go follow at AFL Fantasy Fans. A Twitter space every Sunday night after the final game with me and Tim Guests. Always good fun. We get some coaches on each week, review the round. This week it'll be an hour and a half or so later because the final game starts at 5:50 my time, so 6:20 Eastern. So it's going to be a little bit later. So it might be at starts at 6:20. It might be about 8:45 that we probably go live on Twitter, maybe 9 p.m. So it'll be a little bit later, but it'd just be for the 1 week with the later game. So Ashcroft, another handball there. Yeah, and then we got the podcast, and then it's uploaded as a podcast. So if you don't tune in live, it looks like Will might another kick there. If you don't tune in live, then we've got the podcast, AFL Fantasy Fanatics, wherever you get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever. So go follow that as well. And yeah, it's good fun. And if you want to tune in live to the Twitter spaces, then yeah, it's always good fun. As I said, we had last week, I think we had over 100 people tuning into the review one, but then we had over 200 tuning into the pre-lockout one on Fridays. And that's been the last 2 weeks. So we've got a lot of support on that. So me and Tim have said it a lot of times. We appreciate everyone's support on the podcast so far, getting great numbers. The Twitter space is getting great numbers as well. So we couldn't have imagined the support we've got. So it's fantastic. So next stage is that Zorko? Has he been subbed out? I don't know if Zorko's been subbed out. I don't know if it's an injury or something there, but he's on the bench. He's head down. Ashcroft has looked like, we know he's a great player. Gus Brayshaw as well, another +6. So, but yeah, Ashcroft has looked very, very. Someone's in the way of the camera. Get out. Oh, they've had a blackout. They've had a blackout in the game. I thought there was someone in the way of the camera. They've had a blackout in the football. They've had a blackout. There's one light on, 3 lights have completely gone off, and you can only see one, so barely see a quarter of the ground. That's hilarious. I've seen that happen in the Premier League in the Premier League in England. I was trying to think where it was. The Premier League. I've seen that. Okay, here you go. So the start and the backup lights coming. Everyone's waving their phones up. But I've seen them blackouts in Premier League games in England where the lights completely go out. And it has happened every now and again in footy games here, but very, very rarely. And it's just weird, like seeing all the lights go out. So I'm sure we'll get the game back underway shortly. But actually, what we'll do, so Paul Erickson on YouTube says, I'll get in early. Bales, great effort to do this solo. Really enjoyed it. Appreciate it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been a grind by myself. I always like getting another person on, because then we can discuss the questions, have a bit more of a chat about it, get someone else's point of view. And yeah, it's just always good to chat with someone. It's as you know, it's not always great just chatting by yourself, but if you chat to someone, it's a lot better. So, but yeah, let's go through the scores anyway. With 12 minutes, literally bang on 12 minutes left in the last quarter. So what we've got is you've got Zorko top scoring 116, but I don't know if he's been subbed out. Clayton Oliver 112, so he's on track for a 120, which is great. So if you had him as a VC, at this stage, what it's looking like, you may take it. Dunkley is now on 83, so he's had a 20-point sort of 8 minutes in this quarter, so he could still get to his 100, but it's maybe looking like it wasn't actually that bad a call going Doherty VC last night. So Joe Danaher and Lockie Neal both 82, so Lockie Neal, if he can get to 100, that'd be good as well. Lockie Hunt 81, Will Ashcroft on 80 as well, so as I said, he's played very well after quarter time. Harris Henry 77, Brody Grundy 72, so he's the third highest scorer for Melbourne, which is a good sign. Gus Brayshaw 67, so he's sort of come good really well in the last 2 quarters, so that's good for Gus owners there. Connor McKenna 52, so that's okay for you. He is cheap, so if he gets his 60s and stuff, that's fine, but again, it just shows like I don't think a Wilmot's too far off him, which we'll see in a sec, but that's why these 300 odd 400k guys have got to be scoring your 65, 70 or more to be good value. Otherwise, you can just get a rookie and save cash. So, Petrarca 65, he's been a little bit quiet. Or has Danaher been subbed out? I don't know. Someone's been subbed out for Brisbane. If someone's watching, let me know who got subbed out for Brisbane, because someone did, because Devon Robertson was sort of in and ready to go. Wilmot's on 50. So if he doesn't get too much more than this, I won't be too upset because of the Cowan 40. It would have only cost me 10, 15 points. But we'll see. If he can get to a 60, you'd be pretty happy with that as D6. But then again, even a 50, you'd be fine enough with a 50 from your D6. So I think this would be a point where have for him to not score any points, shake hands, appeal to God on field, and you've got the 10 points. So, so play suspended, power outage. Hopefully the game can get underway soon. I don't want this stream going for that much longer than what it had to be. Chandler 51. So again, he's tracking along okay for a good score. He'd get to 60 maybe. Anyone else? Daniel Rich 46. He's been quiet. McCluggage 52. He's been quiet as well. Harm's only 25. As I said before, it's been really quiet. Zach Barley 38. Draft 1, but he's been quiet. And McVee's only on 24. We knew McVee wasn't going to be a high score anyway. So hopefully they get these lights sorted. We've got 7 watching at the moment, so a couple people left with the whole blackout. But I'm hungry. I've got some snack here, so. Actually, what's here? I can have a look at who tipped Brisbane and Melbourne because play suspended. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of 22 people went Brisbane. Okay, but the thing is, annoying in my tipping comp, 3 of the top 4 overall in my league went Brisbane. So, but did anyone that's on 1? Is anyone going to be on 2? So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people went Carlton and Brisbane. So a few people did go the combo of Carlton and Brisbane. which I'm surprised. I thought a lot of people would have gone Geelong and Melbourne, or Geelong and Brisbane, or Carlton and Melbourne. I thought the least common combo would be Brisbane and Carlton, because they were the sort of two underdogs, if you will. Agreed, Moon Boy. It is insane. If anyone's got any other questions while we're waiting, let me know, because there's no chat at the moment. This would have been a good time to go through those Twitter questions, because we've got nothing to look at. So, because the footy's not on at the moment. So, but yeah, if you got any questions, let me know. Doesn't have to be a question about fantasy. It could be a question about AFL. Who you guys think? If you want me to predict my top 8 for the year, Brownlow medalist, Colin medalist, any general life questions, Moon Boy, UFC questions while we're waiting. I'm happy for any questions for anyone to float through that I can answer anyway. So, but yeah, send them through. Best drink in the world, by the way. Good old Coca-Cola. Because I don't drink alcohol, so I definitely prefer Coke over alcohol. Paul Erickson, how long was play delayed for Buddy's 1K goal last year? Yeah, it was a long time. Might have been closer to half an hour, I think, in that. Because that finished quite late. So we could see something similar here, where the game's delayed for 20, 25 minutes because they're trying to because the lights are in backup mode. And if there's no way to get the lights on, they'll probably just suspend the play and the game will be done. Which will suck for all of us. Then again, the game's over. I think 40 points with only 12 minutes to go. It just, for all fantasy coaches out there, and see all the Brisbane players and Melbourne players are going down their rooms. So I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see. But yeah, I don't know if they've officially. I don't think they've officially called off. But yeah, we'll see what happens with lights they come on. But yeah, for fantasy players, it wouldn't be great if Gorney's smiling, wondering doesn't know what's going on. Hopefully his knee's okay. Hopefully it's not an ACL. Hopefully he's just like an MCL and it's not too long. But yeah, for fantasy players, you'd be, if it was Dunkley with an 83, Neil 82, Ashcroft 80. The Ashcroft, great, you'd take 80. Oliver 112, you'd be happy with as well. There's a few scores here where you want another 10, 15 points more than what they've got, or even maybe more for some players. So it'd be interesting to see if they get this game underway, because if they can't get the lights on, there's no way for them to play. So, like, I don't know what they do. I don't know what the backup plan is if they can't get lights on. Do they play the game tomorrow, like the last 12 minutes tomorrow? Not going to play 12 minutes tomorrow. I think, if anything, if the game can't get underway, the lights look like they're getting a bit brighter, but there's still one light that's not turning on. So, hopefully they get them on. But yeah, I think if they can't get it back on, I think the game would just be called, and that would be it. And it would be with 12 minutes left. So it'd be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, so as I said, you got any other questions, swing them through and I'll answer them. Actually, let's have a look at how the poll went. So 10 votes. 80% went Green and Darcy. 20% went Setterfield and English. So Paul says AFL allows for a 60-minute delay according to commentary. There you go. It's been about 15 minutes or so now, of 10 minutes. So if they can't get them on soon, game could be called off. So the only thing I'll be happy with is that everyone's got Dunkley, and the only other player, and Ashcroft, he's done well. 80, you'd take an 80. And then the only other thing was Wilmot being on, was he on 50? 50 he was on? Yeah, Wilmot on 50. I'll take that. If the game's called off now, I'd take the 50. I know, again, I'm talking for a selfish point of view. I know some people have got Wilmot on field, and they want to score more, but I would take a 10-point hit it's fine. I can catch that up with another player or whatever. So it'll be fine. But I hope the game got called off. I want players to score what they do in 4 quarters. So I'd like to see Dunkley get to 100. I'd like to see Ashcroft get to hopefully maybe a 90, 95. I'd like to see Oliver get to a 120. Even though I don't have some of these players, it's just good to see some of these big scores because then they provide options for next week. Apologies, I was just eating. I'm absolutely starving. I couldn't wait. Eating some good old pinwheels. And if no one knows what pinwheels are, it's just like pastry like little circle things here. I think that's it there. Oh crap, that was the phone. Apologies for that. There's pastry things. It's like what Vegemite and cheese, but there's not a lot of Vegemite, so it's not a really strong, overpowering flavor. They're really good. You're probably thinking they're pastry and cheese and Vegemite, yuck. But nah, they're awesome. Mum made them as a kid for me, so they're very nice. You can also do tomato sauce ones with cheese, which they're quite nice as well. So yeah, people are probably saying they're not nice, but trust me, they're nice. So, choose the legend out there for that tuned in tonight. So you got any questions? We got a little bit of time here to talk with no footy. So as I said, trade questions, AFL questions, life questions, any questions, UFC questions, anything, soccer, any question you have at all, put them in the chat and I'll answer it. We're still waiting here for the game to get on the way, so be happy to answer any questions. Moonboy, Vegemite and cheese is elite. See, Moonboy, you know what's up, man. So yeah, any questions, send them through. Beautiful. Got some questions. Oh, Tony Ford's checked in, mate. Tony, how you going, man? Hope you're all right. Okay. Apologies for that. Sorry, just replying to a message. All right, we're back. Okay, so Beautiful. There's a few here. Good. Thank you. Get these questions in. Get any questions in. Fantasy, AFL, anything, as I said. So, Ross Laws. Oh, Ross, you're back. If match is abandoned, do they standardise the scores up based on lost time and current scores? That's a good question. As a few people in the chat have said, it looks like the lights are starting to, it looks a bit brighter on the ground now, but Warney's going to get hit up a lot. So, I don't know. The honest answer is I don't know. They may not. I don't know. It could. We have seen situations in the past where during COVID, if a game was some players didn't play due to COVID, it was just a 0. So we don't know. It can be different. Moonboy, my league opponent doesn't have Chandler. This is ridiculous. Cherry, Kelly, and a power outage to start the season. Yeah, it's been a weird start to the season. That's for sure. Yeah, the 35-degree heat game as well last week. Laird 57, lowest score in 8 years. You had Cherry, Stewart, all these guys go down. It's been a weird start to the season, but I guess that's what we love about footy, isn't it? You never know what to expect. So, Tony Ford says, who are the best 5 players on the AFL ability-wise, not fantasy? Okay, that's a good question. Oh, best 5 players based on ability. I think Bont's got to be one. Not number one. He's got to be one of them. I'm not going to put these in order because I don't know how to order them, but I think Bont's got to be one just because of, like, he's over 192 centimetres for a midfielder and he's amazing. So he would be one. Roy Laird, no, I can't say Roy Laird based on that because Roy Laird's a great football, but not in terms of ability-wise. So, Wilmot was might have taken a mark there as well. Oh, that might have been a +6 for Wilmot then when the power went out. So good for me that didn't have him on field. Bad for Phil that had him on field because he could have been on 56. So Bont would be one. I might put Lockie Neal in there because I don't think I've seen anyone as clean like that is currently playing as clean as what he is with picking the ball up. I think he's one of the best with picking the ball up. Zorko's, sitting there like, wow. Yeah, that's funny, Zorko. So I think Neil would be one. I'll tell you what, Charlie Kerner would be one that I'd almost put in there. He's been fantastic the last 12 months. Like, everyone thought his career could have been over with all his injuries, but he's been fantastic. So I'll keep Kerno there on the side. I'm going through alphabetically. So Collingwood. I don't know if I'd still put Penderbury in there because Penderbury's been amazing. Like, the way that he stops the game and just has all the time in the world is fantastic. So you could put Pendles in. I don't think I will at the moment. Who else we got? Just going through all the teams. So here's a good question. It's a tough one. It's something I'd have to think about. I think I still got to put Dusty in there. I know that he's not as good as what he was a few years ago, but I think Dusty's in there. Maybe Oliver and Petrarca could both be in there. I don't know. Tough one. I could have a think about it all day, but Bont would be one. Bont would be one of the ones I'd have in there. So Tony also said, spewing with Oliver VC if the game doesn't come back. Yeah, I know. 112 is on track for a good score. As we said, Tony, we don't know what happens with this because I don't think it's ever happened. I don't know if they just sort of... It'd be hard, though, to times it, like standardize it based on the rest of the game. Because 12 minutes, it's not like it stopped halfway through a quarter. You could just go, okay, divide it by, 3.5 and just add whatever the remaining is or however you work it out. I don't know if you could. It's going to be hard. So I don't know how they'd work it out. I honestly think that if the game was to be stopped now, nothing would happen. The scores would be the scores, what they are now. So people would be looking at Dunkley and going 83 and trading him. But second highest score for Brisbane, he was on track for probably to get 100. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see. But yeah, it'd be spewing if Oliver. But to be honest, at 112, I'd probably take it, Tony. I'd probably take it regardless. Because 112, I took 110 from Doherty last week, and you've probably got someone there, but I'd never in a million years thought Laird was going to go 57. He hadn't gone under 90 all last year. He'd only gone under 90 once in the last 3 years, and that was his lowest score in 8 years. So I never would have thought that he would have gone that low. So you just don't know. So 112 I'd take. I'm normally a little bit more conservative with the captaincy. Later in the year, I rise it to 120 because you've got more captaincy options, more opportunities to put captain. Games are slower, more contested, which means scores are higher generally. So for me, anything over 110 to start the year for the first maybe month or so, I'll probably take. So I'd probably take it anyway. And I wasn't meaning anyways in moving on. I meant I'd just take it anyway. How do you see Will Day as an option in the next few weeks, as Paul? I think Will Day's a great option. I think he's a good option to bring in. I just worry this week with the SCG matchup against Sydney because we've seen wingers can get really caught out in games. But I would still bring him in if you can. D2 for me, I wouldn't bring him in if he's your D2. If he's your D3 or D4, you could bring him in, but not D2. You'd have to have somewhat better at D2, I think. Anthony Beresford says, reckon if it doesn't restart, they will add a percentage to players' fantasy scores. I don't know. Again, I'm not the person to be asking that question, but I would just imagine, just based on just general, I think that they won't. I think the scores would be the scores, and that's it. But again, don't know. Have no idea. So we'd have to see. I think we had this situation, what was it? Melbourne West Coast a couple of years ago where the thunderstorm came. The game came back on, but I think from memory, people were saying that the scores would stay the scores even if they came back on or not. So if that's the case, I think that could be the case here. But again, I'm not sure. So we'll have to wait and see. Paul says, who is the smoky midfielder that is yet to pop? Smoky midfield. It could be Setterfield. It could be Will Setterfield. New club, more opportunity. He could go bang. It could be Tom Green. He hasn't really popped yet, per se, Tom Green. He had a big score round one, but he didn't pop yet. He only averaged 83 last year. So probably the easy answer is Tom Green. LDU, he's popped in a way, but again, has he fully popped into Uber territory? No. So easy answer would say him. But you're saying who's the smoky, though? That's the thing. So who's the one that no one's really talking about? Could be Horn Francis. He could go and average 90 from here and could be a big one. I don't think he's not a smoky pick, but it's a tough one. There's a few guys. Like there's Noah Anderson. He started bad, but does he go pop? Does Sarong go pop? There's a lot of guys that could go pop really whenever, but I've said pop a lot. So pop. But yeah, interesting. So it's a good question. Who do you think, Paul? Who do you think's the smoky midfielder that's yet to pop? Who do you reckon? Yeah, so Ross says LDU. So yeah, it just depends if you think LDU is a guy that's popped or not. So it's the only thing we got to be concerned with this game at the moment is injury. Injuries could happen because they're going to be off for, if the game doesn't go back on, it could be half an hour, 45 minutes since they last were playing. So you have to do a warm-up, but there is a high risk of injury. And do Melbourne really want to go back out there being 40 points down when they've already lost Max Gawn and I don't know if Petty went back out there, but they had a couple of injuries. They really want to send people back out there. I'm not sure Melbourne do. I think Brisbane may. Oh, but then again, Brisbane have won the game. So I think both teams at this point will probably be happy to shake hands and then that's it. Personally, I think that's what they do. But then again, players like playing to the siren. So Tony Ford, my main option for captain is Brayshaw. No other players interest me too much. That's what I mean. I know Brayshaw's got North Melbourne. He should go big, but I would still take the 112 from Oliver, whatever happens. If he gets obviously scores added, if they don't get added, whatever, I would not risk it. I'd take the 112 from a VC. Look at Doherty, 79. Dunkley, if this stops, 83. Laird last week, 57. There's too many times where a player hasn't done what you need. And again, probably the week you take the 112 is when Andrew Brayshaw probably go 140, 150 and you've lost 30 points. But I think there's more risk more risk in taking on the 112 because if a player gets injured or subbed out or has a poor game and scores a 50 or 60, you lose a lot of points compared to even if Brayshaw goes 130, it's a great score, but you've only lost yourself 18 points because you've got Oliver and Brayshaw. And if no one knows if that works, right? If you've got Oliver and Brayshaw, and let's say Oliver goes 112, which he has done, and Brayshaw goes 130, right? Let's say those two. You go 112 times 2, which is 224. Then you add 130, which is 354 points, right, from two players. If you captain Brayshaw and with Oliver in your team, you get 260. So what? 374. So you only lose it. That's only 18 points. It's not a lot for potentially a big risk. So 112. If your captain just scored 112 without the VC, you'd be happy enough with 112. So I'd take it. Moon Boy, pop. Yeah, pop. We've been saying pop a lot the last few minutes, but yeah. Chad Warner to pop from Anthony Beresford. Yeah, Chad Warner definitely is a good shout for to pop at some point. That's a good saying, pop at some point. So this is what I mean. We're getting to that stage where the stream's gone for a while. We're still waiting for the game to get underway, if it's going to get underway, and we're saying pop too much and all this stuff. So hopefully it's giving you a good laugh. But yeah, Chad Warren, definitely a player to burst, pop, anything, whatever you want to say. Paul Erickson, I'm keen to see how Rao goes next week or two. Yeah, 109 the first week, looked better, took a couple of marks. His tackles were there, high time on ground, which is what we like to see. A lot of disposals. Be interesting to see how he does go in the next 2 weeks. Be very interesting because he could potentially be an option that we look at as an underpriced guy. But I think he's scarred a lot of people as well. So, Moonboy, yeah, Warren will be a star. Agree, 100%. My mate was saying that he's just as good as when he watched him in the preseason games. He looked just as good as Gordon, but different, like just the burst that he's got. So yeah, Warren will be a star. Gordon will be a star. Well, Sydney have got some really good young players in with Gordon, Braden Campbell, Chad Warner. I was about to say Corey Warner. No, we haven't seen Corey Warner yet. But yeah, so game will be back in 20. There you go. So game's going to be back in 20 minutes. Wow, that means the stream's going to be going for nearly 4 hours. Wow. There you go. I wasn't sure they were going to get back out. I thought for a bit there they might not come back out, but yeah. What do we got here? Paul Erickson. I'm a Swans man. I'm looking to adopt Warner and Errol's left foot. Yeah, Errol's got one of the best kicks in the game. He's on the level of like your Jordan Dawson's and stuff. And I've said Dawson's probably got the best kick in the AFL in terms of hitting up people. So, yeah. So it's saying that if play does not resume by 11:20 Eastern time, then the game will finish. So what's that? It's 32 minutes away. So it'll be interesting to see the game gets under. The game should get underway. It looks like it will. Yeah, this is interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, okay. AFL Rule 11.1.2. If a match is unable to commence or continue within the scheduled for the match for the reasons beyond the control of either team, including circumstances where it is unsafe for the match to proceed, the following shall apply. Half-time and beyond. If the half-time interval has been reached and the match is unable to proceed at any time, the teams shall leave the arena, or in the case of half-time, not return to the arena. If the match is unable to recommence within a 30-minute period, the scores of the team at the time the match was interrupted shall be deemed. And I just took it off. Thanks, Fox Footy. I was reading that, but yeah, we get the point. That if it's not started by a certain time, the game will be called off. It still looks dark. I know players are coming out to warm up. I think they're just preparing, but that still looks quite dark out there. Like, is the game going to be played? Because it's lighter than what it was. Obviously, it was pitch black, so it's got to be light at some point. But I don't know. Like, I'm sure they could probably see it, but it's probably not going to be as. Well, it's not going to be a good game anyway. Brisbane are up by 40, so Chris Fagan, there you go. Be pretty happy with his boys for tonight. So, Tony Ford, how was your trip to the US? I got this before actually, but no, happy to say it again. It was good. Enjoyed my time over there. As I said before, not the best roommate. Just we didn't clash. It's not that. We didn't clash. It was just that we had nothing really in common. So I was more a sport guy, he's more computer guy, game stuff. Like, I'm doing it wrong. I like playing the odd game or two, like your FIFA and stuff like that. But I'm not that heavy. I'd much rather watch live sport and talk about fantasy and all this type of stuff. Whereas, we just didn't click. And he was always in the room. Never had a spare moment by myself. Every time he'd eat, he'd eat his mouth open, and I can't stand that when people eat with their mouth open. So, but yeah, that's all right. I could keep going on, but I'm not gonna talk about it too much. But yeah, no, enjoyed yourself. It was good traveling around there and whatever. So yeah, but thanks for asking, mate. Appreciate it. That's the only thing I'm worried about. If the game gets underway, it could be a real chip game just to not get injured. Does that mean a guy like Darcy Wilmot, does he go nuts and get like 20 points in quick fire and get to a 70? That's what I'm worried about. Like 50 at the moment, I'm happy with. I'm fine with Cowan and Wilmot on field for a 50. So Cowan on field for a 40 and then Wilmot on the bench for a 50. If he gets any more than 60, though, that's when I'm going to start sitting here going, I don't want him getting any more than 60. I'm sorry for people that got him out there because, yeah, I'm selfish like that. But nah. If he's doing well for you, then no good. I'm happy for you. I'm just annoyed that I made the decision to start Cowan over Wilmot. I thought my reasoning was fine, but can't really do too much about it. So, but yeah, while you wait, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, make sure you do. Like the video if you haven't already and you enjoyed the watch along tonight. Also, type in the chat. Yes. It's the word yes, if you will be tuning in tomorrow night for the live stream of Bulldogs and St Kilda is what we're doing. So I just want to see who's going to be tuning in tomorrow night. So let us know who's going to be tuning in because we're doing another one. I think I'll be getting Callum from Game Day Squad to jump on. He'll probably start the stream because I will be at the Adelaide game. So I won't get back until probably the second quarter of that game. So yeah, it'd be better for someone to start it, and then at least we can get it rolling, and then you guys can tune in and listen to Callum for half an hour, and then I can come in after. And then obviously, if Callum can't do it, then I'll just start the stream like this at the start of the second quarter. It'll be fine. I'll just start a little bit later, but yeah. 778 subscribers. So I appreciate. I think that's 4 people that have subscribed tonight, or 3 people. So someone else subscribed besides the other 2 I shouted out before. So again, if you did subscribe, shout out to you. We're getting really close now. 222 subscribers away from 1,000. And when you hit 1,000, you get put into the YouTube Partners Program and everything. And potentially could start getting paid for videos and you can do more things. You can do super chat stuff. You can do like if I wanted to make videos for just VIPs or whatever. I'm not going to do any of that until I hit like a lot more subscribers. But when you can start doing fancy things like that. So yeah, and they'd put ads in videos. So obviously not great for people watching, but it would potentially get paid. So yeah, that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, if you haven't subscribed, I appreciate all the support as well. And yeah, I'm sure that there'll be a reward at some point when I can figure out what type of reward that is for people that are subscribed and to give back to you guys because I appreciate all the support you guys show. So Paul says, "Are you studying in the States? If so, what?" So I finished studying. I was only over there for a semester. So I was there when was I there from? August 15th or 16th or something like that. And then I came back on January 12th, but I was on holiday, like traveling around for about 6 weeks after. So it was like the second week of December. But no, it was good. Studying journalism. Sport journalism more specifically. So sort of goes in tune with what I want to do, like AFL Fantasy and AFL and stuff. So they're getting the game underway. So we're about to get the game underway now. We're like seconds away. So Paul says he's in for Saturday. Good to hear, Paul. Be good to have you there. Anthony Beresford, I've got my brother's Bucks party. It's all right, mate. Put me on in the background. Nah, still good. Nah, mate, enjoy the Bucks party. Hopefully have a good time. Mark Buck, g'day, lads. G'day, Mark. Good for you to jump in. Better late than never. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate everyone that's tuned in across tonight. As I said, the last 12 minutes, be good for Dunkley and Ashcroft to score some bulk points. Be good if Wilmot doesn't score too many. Wilmot's next to Petrarca, which is interesting. So I don't know if he's playing midfield or still playing wing. I don't know. But hopefully Wilmot doesn't go too big in the last 15, 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. My final snack I won't have. Mark, just scrolling Twitter and saw your tweet about the stream. Oh, it's all good, mate. No, again, appreciate you tuning in at this time. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whenever anyone tunes in, just as long as there's some people tuning in. It's good. As I was saying before, I wanted, we've had at least 7 or 6 for the past probably hour and a half. So it's been good. We've jumped up a little bit. I'm not expecting to have a few hundred people listening. I've only just started these. So, but I was saying that if in a few weeks' time, if there's still only 3 or 4 people tuning in, I might not keep doing them. They've been good fun. It's good conversation, so it's been fun. But if there's only a couple people doing it each week or tuning in each week, I won't worry about doing a 3-hour stream for that. Whereas if I get I see improvement goes to 10, 20, maybe 30 people tuning in, watching it, then I'd be fine to keep going. So just smash some sweet chili sour cream, Red Rock deli chips and a Coke. Oh, mate. Sounds awesome. I literally said before, about an hour ago, I said, best drink, Coca-Cola, 100%. Best drink. I'd rather over alcohol as well. I don't drink alcohol. Just don't like it. It's not a big fan of the taste. I literally would just prefer a glass of Coke. And yeah, the Red Rock chili chips, Red Rock deli chips are amazing as well, especially the sweet chili sour cream and then the honey soy ones. They're my two go-to. So there's people on phones and everything. I don't know what's going on. They look like they're ready to go, but maybe they're not. I don't know. Oh. No, so just got the thumbs up. So I reckon they're playing. It should be. Yeah, here we go. Hey, we got footy back. It's back, finally. Be very interesting to see how this last 10 minutes goes. There's going to be, I got no doubt there's going to be some junk time points for some players, especially Brisbane players. That's why I'm a bit nervous about Darcy Wilmot going huge on me. A 50's okay. If he gets to 60, it still only cost me 20 points when it looked like it could have been a bit more. But if he gets 65, 70 or more, that would make me a little bit like, missed it on a few points. So hopefully not too much. But yeah, I'm not. Again, that's talking from my own team point of view. Obviously, for you, I hope Wilmot does well for you. But for me, I hope he doesn't do too much. Mark says Dunkley was slow early, but had some bulk points late in the second and this quarter. Yeah. And that's what Dunkley can do, though. So that's why I was a little bit concerned the first quarter, but from then on, he's looked okay. A quiet sort of third quarter, but he scored, 20 points in the first 8 minutes of this quarter, and Petrarca. No, it's going to go out of bounds. But yeah, he had... he's looking like he's on track for around 100, so it's fine. Mark says you fielded Cowan over Wilmot. Yeah, I did, unfortunately. Then the reasoning was I thought Cowan looked good in his first game. Only got 35, but it was from 53% time on ground. If he got 70-odd percent, would have bumped that up to around a 50. And I just thought junior numbers were good. And I thought Geelong at the MCG could have been an okay matchup. Collingwood did well last week. And Melbourne at the Gabba, obviously, won't look in the better scorer, but Melbourne have been tough generally for wingers to score on. So that's why I was a little bit concerned about Wilmot. But Wilmot's been pretty good tonight on a 50. He's looked on track at times to go 60 plus. Obviously, the light situation and a pretty quiet third quarter have meant that he may get to a 65, 70 with some junk time points, but yeah, we'll have to see. But we got 10 minutes to go. Fritz just kicked one out of bounds on the full there. So yeah, it'd be very interesting to see what Wilmot ends up with. See, the other reason I wouldn't mind him going a little bit better, like in my head, one side of me is like, I don't want him to get points because I feel a coward and I don't want to feel like an idiot. But then again, I'm not an idiot because it's a rookie roulette, as we always say. But then again, if he got to a 70, I'd be like, well, I'd be pretty happy fielding him for the next 3-4 weeks until Sheasel gets defensive status, because it means that Wilmot would have gone 49 against a very, very hard for defenders and wings to score on Port Adelaide and just for people to score in general. And 70 odd against Melbourne at the Gabba, who are hard for wings to score on. So it'd be good if he scored well, because then you could go, okay, Wilmot is our D6 moving forward, and he'll be able to score your 50s and 60s, and it's fine. So, but yeah, Fritz kicks a goal there, back to 34 points. I'm not going to rule Melbourne out just yet. I know that 40 points with 12 minutes to go is a bit tough, but this game's a bit different with the power outage, Brisbane going off for a little bit, Melbourne going for a bit, resetting. Maybe does Melbourne kick 3 or 4 quick goals in a row and get back in the game? Like what? It's 5 goals or just over 5 goals. If Melbourne were to get another 2 quick goals, then you never know. Footy's a funny game. Mark says, what's your best guess for Chester this week? 45. 45, I think. There you go. You had Mark, you just saw it then. You said I'd be happy with 45. I think he goes 45. I think he'll get a little bit more ball than he did last week, being back at home at Optus Stadium in front of family and friends. I think that they won't. The thing is, Giants is harder than North Melbourne, so it's a tough one, isn't it? I wouldn't play him on field. I would have played Cowan or Wilmot on field over Chester. I didn't really look at Chester as an option on field, but it is a tough one. I think 45 for me, if I had to pick a number. That was just the number that came to my head. McKenna there. Good thing with McKenna. The thing I like McKenna, I know his score's only 58, I think, when the handball updates, if not it's 56, is that Brisbane looked to get the ball in his hands. The only thing that he's going to struggle with is the marks. Is he going to get enough marks to be able to put up good enough scores like consistently? Rivers coming out to the wing with Wilmot. Rayner. No, Mark by Lever. There you go. So 8.5 minutes to go. Most of the players that we wanted to score points haven't scored any points yet. So Ashcroft hasn't got any points yet. Dunkley hasn't got any points yet. Wilmot hasn't got any points. Dunkley. No, snapped and missed. There you go. Dunkley, 14 points. So 13 points away now from his maiden ton for Brisbane. So hopefully he can get there. Be nice. Yeah, Oliver's got 5 points since we've been going. So yeah, it's definitely Tony, if you're still watching as well, I'd definitely be taking. Good. Wilmot dropped a mark. I'm sorry if you've got Wilmot. I'm sorry. I'm happy with him getting a 50. He doesn't need to get any more. The game's over. Doesn't need to get more points. I'm joking. He does, but yeah. I'll be pretty happy fielding Wilmot, I think, from now. He could have easily been on 60. He's a couple of little things haven't gone his way, like drop Mart there. That could have been a Mart he takes, and he's nearing 60. But yeah. Rivers. No, can't hit up Ben Brown. So, but yeah, it's been an interesting stream, that's for sure. So there are a lot of updates. So any interest? So yeah, Neil 87, Dunkley 87. Yes, and it was Zorka that got subbed out as well, if anyone missed that. So Oliver's 120. So yeah, Tony, you're laughing now. 120, you definitely take that. That's a great score to have as your VC. And a very good option as well. I don't have Oliver, but it was a good pod option that no one was talking about as a VC. Everyone was talking about Doherty. Everyone was talking about Dunkley. No one was talking about Oliver. Whereas if you had Oliver, why wouldn't you put a VC on him? Because he's so consistent. And yeah, so great for you. I know that Tony would be very happy with that 120. And I'd be very happy with 120 for my VC. My fingers across that Lairdy goes 120 tomorrow against Richmond. I think Laird goes triple figures tomorrow. I think he goes triple figures. I can't imagine a guy that went over 100, I think 3/4 of his game last year and didn't go under 90, goes sub 100 in the first 2 games of the season. I'll probably talk about Laird way too much, but he knows he played crap, right? He knows that the Adelaide midfield played crap, and he knows that he's got to respond and the team's got to respond. Wilmot here, he's going to get a free kick there as well. God damn it. Good on you. Who was that? Fritsch. Yeah, thanks, mate. Let's give Wilmot some more points that he doesn't need to get. I'll take 4 though. 54. I'm still okay with that. No more points from now, please. Is that Dunkley? The ball? I can tell by his kicking. No, it's not Dunkley. Dunkley's that one guy that you can tell who he is by his kicking action. It's a very different action. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if they come on, bring Jared. I know Jared Bree's got a shoulder thing. Bring him on. Bring Big O on. Wilmot off. Sorry again. I apologise if people are sitting there thinking, "I'll stop being so negative to Wilmot." But I'm competitive. I don't want Wilmot going that much better because I made the stupid error of not putting him on field when I had him on field all week. Dunkley has done a lot better since quarter time, by the way, as well. I know a few people were worried, but he's on 90 now. Like, he was on 13 at quarter time, and he's ended up scoring 77 points in the remaining 2.5. So essentially 2.5 quarters. So for me, that's fine. I'm fine with Dunkley. He'll have better games. They're going to be easier games where they play against easier opposition. So that could be a tackle for Wilmot as well, which is going to suck if it is. Gunston smothered. I wonder if they count that as a tackle for Wilmot, or if because it spilled out, it doesn't count. If it counts, that means he goes to 58. So it'll be interesting if it counts. Wilmot, no more, man. Stop. No, yeah, kick. Good. Sorry, Wilmot. I like you, man. You're a good player, but Hipwood. Kick a goal, Brisbane, not Melbourne. Now, Melbourne, just kick the ball off of Brisbane. No, actually, no, I don't want the kick ball. No, give it back to Dunkley and give it to Ashcroft and Dunkley so they can share it between the two. That'd be what I want. But yeah, I don't know if they've counted the tackle for Wilmot. Maybe they didn't. I hope they didn't. No, it doesn't look like it. Hang on. Well, it's not updating properly. Ben Brown out the back by himself. Goal for Melbourne. So yeah, still 5 goals behind. It's not gonna happen, unfortunately, for them. I don't know why. Let me refresh the page, see if that's why. I just feel that they just keep showing the same thing. We're saying Wilmot's still on 50, which isn't the case. So it's not updating properly. So let me check I'll check on my phone, see what the scores there are on. Seeing how far off the scores, because Oliver might be on more than 120. Yeah, Oliver's on 127. Zorko's on once again, obviously got subbed out. I think now it's updated finally. So Wilmot, did get the tackle. Bloody hell. He's on 58. Again, I'll take it. It's only 18 points. I'll allow one more handball. Anything more than one more handball, and I'm annoyed. And I'm not annoyed at you, by the way. I'm annoyed at myself for Oh, Wilmot, no, good, got the tackle away. Chandler from the boundary. He's got it. Okay, Chandler, what a goal. Hold your horses. Melbourne, 4 goals in 4 minutes. We've seen bigger in that time. We've seen Gold Coast kick 3 goals in a minute against Richmond. Sorry, Richmond fans. With Carmichael Hunt kicking that goal. Melbourne, they're not officially out of it. You doubt they can win, but Cade Chandler, that's big for him. So Cade Chandler now goes to, he'd be up there as well. He'd be sick. That'd be 60. He would have hit 60 with that now. But yeah. So hopefully Duncan can get 10 points in the last 4 minutes. Hopefully Wilmot gets 0 points in the last 4 minutes. Because Wilmot is on the ground, I think. I don't think he's on there. It wouldn't be bad if he went on the bench. Or he gives a free kick away. I'm being so negative towards Wilmot. I'm sorry. Hang on. That's McKenna. Maybe Wilmot. Is Wilmot on the bench? Yes. Sorry, he's on the bench. He's on the bench. Wilmot's on the bench. That's probably his game done, I'd imagine. I can't see him go on the bench for a minute or two, then come back on. So it looks like for me, it's only cost me 18 points, which is it's not the worst. A 40 and a 58 isn't going to determine you winning the car or losing the car, I don't think. Because I'm getting the high. Well, Dossie's got the high luck, so I've probably got the number 2 cap. But yeah, it's not going to cost me a hat. But he could. You never know. But yeah, Ashcroft, Good's going to get the 1-2 from Rich. Gets away from Chandler there. Gets a kick. So Ashcroft moving to 89. Hang on, 87. Sorry, not 89. I don't know why I added 7 points for a kick and a handball. Hopefully, Ashcroft can get another. Imagine if he could get another 13 points. Oliver, he's got to go back. If Oliver kicks this, for a start, he's on near a 140. So he's been huge again. And this could put Melbourne back to within 3 goals with 2.5 minutes remaining. It would not be out of the realms of possibility for this not to happen. Oliver steps up. He's kicked it. He's got it. Here we go. Game on. It's probably not. It's still 18 points with 3 minutes. With 2.5 minutes. If Brisbane take a minute off the clock, it's done. But if Melbourne get a quick centre clearance and a goal, and they need 2 goals in 2 minutes, it's doable. Brisbane just need to make sure they don't concede another goal. It's a bit poor by them to let them really get back in. It was 40-odd points not that long ago. So that puts Oliver to a 139 as well. Huge game for Clary. I love Clary, by the way. I wish it would have been great to start with him over Laird, my boy. But Paul, Grundy's score, interesting, given how the Big O is usually so restricted. Yeah, that's a good point, because Big O is so restrictive. He could be an option. He'll definitely be an option if Gawn's ruled out for the season. He'll probably be the number 1 trade target in the rucks. You'd rather him over everyone. If I had no issues, Sean Darcy to him would be an option. Even though Sean Darcy was got, well, actually, no, not next week, because Sean Darcy would have West Coast. Dunkley tackle. That moves into 94. Come on, Dunks. 1 more mark kick is what we want. McCluggage falling over his own feet. Oh, turnover to Melbourne. So this is Melbourne's opportunity. If they can take it here and kick a goal from this, it is game on. Oh, Sparrow free kick against Neil. Yeah, Wilmot's on the bench as well still. Just had a look. So if this is a mark, Brent Brown, he's got it. Oh, I don't want him to win because I tipped Brisbane. But it's hard not to get involved in a game like that, because it's like they've come from nowhere, 40 points down, and they need 2 goals in a minute 45. I've never put, and if you've watched the most of this time as well, you know I haven't said Melbourne are completely out of it. I've said it should be done now, but I've never said it's completely done. Brisbane have won. Fantastic. I've got 2 from 2 for the round. They need 2 goals. I said to you as well, with 12 minutes remaining, I said that normally 40 points is not doable in that. But the fact that this game stopped, all momentum stopped, and the game reset. It's completely different. and Melbourne are charging, and they're on the charge back. So it'll be interesting to see how this game folds. Yeah, see Melbourne 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goals in a row. Well, 6 goals. Yeah, the 48-point difference, I think it was. If Melbourne, clearance, Petrarca, Brayshaw. It's almost like I'm commentator at the moment. It's ridiculous. If Melbourne kick a goal in this right here, it is Oliver to Langdon, Sparrow. No, Viney, Oliver. Oh my God, this could actually happen. McKenna smothered. What are Brisbane doing? They just cannot get the ball. Viney. No, he handled it away. And just hold on the ball. A minute 10 to go. The ball's come out. Neil Bullen holding the ball. Dunkley kick. Dunkley's on 97 now, but the ball's coming back. Sparrow. Is that chant? Fritsch. Oh, it's a point. Is it a point or is that out of bounds? I'm just saying Chris Fagan will, he's got his head in his hands. Chris Fagan will not be happy. They were up by 8 goals, 48 points they were up by, and they've conceded 6 goals in the last 10 minutes to give Melbourne a sniff. And even if Melbourne don't win this, Ashcroft with a kick. Here we go. Is that a free kick to Brayshaw? No, play on. So that's probably it. That's probably it now. 40 seconds. If Brisbane, that could be on the ball actually, but still 32 seconds. They got to go coast to coast, key goal to get a clearance. It's on the ball, 27, still going down. So now it is game over now. Hang on, Fritsch. Oh, he got bumped off it. Huge bump. Was that McKenna? No, Cameron. McDonald. Nah, it's done. There it is. Brayshaw, Fritsch. If he kicked, he's got it. No, he missed it, but it doesn't matter. Game over. Wow, a lot closer than what that game should have been. I was almost like a bloody commentator at the last 2 minutes there. It's ridiculous. Just so close. I didn't expect to get that close. It was ridiculous how close it got. So, but yeah, Paul Action, wow, I'm about a minute ahead of you. Yeah, well, you probably hearing me react to everything and you're like, well, I've already seen it. So, but yeah, so there it is. Brisbane get the job done by 11 points. We'll look at the scores. I don't think that the Dream Stats is updating correctly. So Clayton Oliver, 149 points. Tony Ford, mate. Yeah, there you go. Clary. Neil McAndrew not to play now. He won't. They got Sheldrick and Roberts as a sub. If you've got Clayton Oliver, you've got off to a brilliant start. He was the pick for M1, I think. 120 in the first game. 124, sorry, and then 149. Brilliant start. And it's against the Bulldogs in Brisbane as well. So, yeah, huge game by him. Zorko, 116, and obviously got subbed out in that last quarter as well. Hunter, 100. Dunkley, 97, just fell short of the 100, but he looked off. He's fine. He looked better in the second half. Neil, 94. Grundy, 93. Ashcroft, 90. Ashcroft, that's very good. 31 disposals for Will Ashcroft. Well, the only thing that didn't get him a good score was he had 1 tackle, no marks. So in another game, he gets a few more of those and he does better. But again, rookie, he'll probably get the Rising Star Award as well after that. Gus Brayshaw, 86, 27 disposals. He probably won a little bit more than that. McCluggage, 69. Big O, 69. McKenna, 65. Chandler, 64. Chandler, 64. You take that. That's not too bad. Obviously, that didn't he kick? No, yeah, Chandler kick goal. Yeah. Wilmot, 58. That's okay. I think you'd be happy if you had him on field, but I'm okay with only losing 18 points. I thought it was going to be a lot more at halftime. He's only 5 points off of that, so he only scored 23 points second half. So that's okay. And again, you take away 2 of those plus 6s that he got really quickly in the second quarter. That's only a 46, but yeah, that's fine. Rich, 48. That's quite game for him, obviously. Zach Bailey, 38 as well, so quite for him. McVee, 26. And Harms, 19. Yeah. It's not great. And then obviously the big story for tonight was Max Gorn got injured. So that was the big one. But yeah, so I hope you guys hope you guys enjoyed the live stream. We had a few more people tuning in. That's one which is great. So we'll be back tomorrow night. I think Callum will start the stream. Comes over a game day squad. And then I'll jump on about quarter in. So looking forward to you guys tuning into that one. And yeah, Paul Erickson, hey, thanks, Barles. Looking forward to tomorrow. Thanks, mate. Looking forward to and seeing the other scores update on the site. So, yeah. And see, Dunkley, second highest score for Brisbane. So I'm fine. But Brisbane may not be a high scoring team as what maybe we thought. So, but yeah, very pleased with tonight. Went well. But yeah, if you want to follow me on all the socials, make sure you do link in the description. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We're on 778, I believe it was. So we might have got a few extra since then. So appreciate that. Turn notifications on so you miss when we do go live. So for tomorrow night and other watch-alongs, other content, whatever. I said my schedule before, but yeah, I'll put up a tweet on Twitter saying what my exact schedule is, but we got a pretty set one now. Is that it? And like the video if you enjoyed the content. That was probably the only other thing as well. So appreciate everyone getting involved in the chat tonight. We had a lot of people comment and stuff. I know it was over 3.5 hours, so you would expect there to be a bit of chat, but there was a good amount for 7 people or so we had in the chat. We had 10 at some points as well, which is good. But yeah, see you guys all tomorrow night. Hopefully we see all your legends there and then a few more, and then we can start building the community and then get this thing happening Friday and Saturday nights with a good crowd. So appreciate everyone tuning in. Thanks for all the support, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for the Western Bulldogs and St Kilda games. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Ross. Just saw your comment there as well. Thanks, Ross. Beautiful. See you guys tomorrow night. I'm out. Cheers.